Finally. Phew. That took some effort, that did. Okay, am I live? Am I live? Please say I'm alive. I'm alive, but am I live? I'm still not live. What's going on? Oh, no, I am live. There we go. God, there. This thing. Right, first of all, can people hear me? Let's just get these. I've opened up so many different screens to try and fix this problem. It was just a restart of the program, the classic, that I needed to do. Okay, so, yes, I'm here. I am alive. Oh dear. That was stressful, that was. Stressful, I was thinking, what's going on? Just wouldn't work. But that's one of those things, isn't it? The beauty of technology. So sorry we're late. The plan today is to make some a low poly animal. We'll make some low poly animals because we're all going to make some. You're going to follow along, aren't you? Hopefully. So hello to everybody in the chat. I'm just having a look at that now. There's loads of people. Good to see you all. Yes, I'm allowed. So just checking. Audio, all good. And video, all good. I mean, there's not something crazy going on or something weird going on. I never know. You never know. This is awesome. Good stuff. Nice to see you all. Okay, so where are we from then? Where's everybody from? I'm from England. If you hadn't guessed. Where are you all from? Just so I know that you are listening and you're not just looking at me going, I wonder what he's saying. Nothing's coming through in chat now. It's all dead. Please say it hasn't all died. Aha, there we go. It's just there's quite a lag in it for some reason. Utah is the only response I'm getting. Anyway, so let me know where you're from. Germany, there we go. There's another one. That's more like it. Bristol, quite close. So make sure you've got your low poly animal reference. Now you don't have to do a fox like I'm going to do. So if I show you, we'll go across to, hang on, what am I going to do? Fox outline, there we go. So there's our low poly animal reference image drawn by myself. That's why it's a little bit rough. But you can use that, or you can find a side view and a front view. You don't even need a front view quite often. You can usually do just with a side view. So go grab an image, go grab that image if you haven't got it already. If you want to actually show off your work, then I'm going to be in Discord. In the live stream channel here, you can post your results as you're going along in there, and I can kind of show how we're getting on. So moderators might need to be on standby if there's any moderators around. I think I saw Laurie somewhere. If you don't mind being a slight moderator for me, that'd be really helpful. And anybody else. And if you're amazing, then I'll just make you a moderator. Wouldn't that be nice? But yeah, if you haven't joined the Discord, then you can join with the link in the description. Or you don't have to post your work, you can just follow along. So are we all ready to go? Right, so we've got lots of people from all around the world. Isn't this fantastic? All ready to have some fun making a low poly animal. Just check this is working as well. Someone post a non-offensive image in the live stream channel. Make sure there's no problems there. That would be awesome. And make sure you can all post in there. There's the Fox image. You need to go and download that. And make sure... yes. You're a slight moderator. Hey, Corey S as well is here. Oh, look at that. We're doing well. So someone post in this channel so I know that that's working and we can chat about your work. Yeah, cool stuff, cool stuff. Right. And, of course, make sure that you have downloaded the image and you're ready to go with Blender. Now, this is... I would say it's beginner centric, but it's not for complete beginners. I won't be going through the interface and all those sort of things. There we go. Thank you, Wendy, for posting. I don't even know what that is, but you know, it's a little blob guy. Okay, I've lost my flow now. So it's a more sort of beginner. You've been doing it for a few months, sort of thing, and want to make a low poly animal. That's my thinking for the moment. So all with Blender open, I hope. And we've got our Fox image ready. You can just click and drag that in, but it's actually easier if you go to front view first. So you press 1 on your numpad, or you can use Cartesian coordinates up here, and then I've got to find the image again, and then you can drag it in. Sometimes, there we go, you can drag it in, and that way it will be aligned with your viewport. G to grab, of course, and you can line that up like this. Actually, this is front view, isn't it? So I want front view there. It depends, really. But there's the mirror. The mirror usually you have across the x-axis. That's just sort of the same across any modeling program that you have. So generally people do that. So this is really front view. Now to be able to see what's going on, we can go into X-ray mode. So Alt-Z is the shortcut for that, or X-ray mode up here. Up here, sorry. That's wireframe, X-ray mode. Wireframe will do the same thing. And let's move our image down. So I can click on the image, move it into position. We probably need to make it a little bit see-through. So you can do that with your image selected. That's the empty. It comes in as an empty. We can now go to the object data properties, and it's opacity. We just click to make sure that's ticked. This is under object data properties, and we can bring down the opacity a bit so that, one, it's not too glaring for your screens, so just enough so we can see it. Probably about 0.2 is good, and then I can line that up. So I'm going to G then X and line it up, and then I'll give you a few seconds to catch up with me, and then we'll keep going. Just having a quick look. Any chat there? I'm my Blender hero. Thanks, Max. Watching from India. No problem. Yep, it's enjoyable doing these sort of sessions. I'm an educator at heart, so the more people that can realise their Blender dreams, the better. Screencast keys are turned on. They're down the bottom right here. Yep, they are working. Yep. So I use J&M's screencast keys. The shortcut keys or whatever it is. They're really handy. Trinidad and Tobago. Cool. Yep, follow along if you can. I love it when people join in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the timeline down here as well. I can easily do that by where my crosshairs, where the crosshairs come up. I can just click and drag to get rid of the timeline. There we go. So we don't need that there, do we? Right, let's just check on Discord, make sure, there we go, people are posting in there now. Great success. Love it. Art is hard. It is hard, but it's rewarding. Isn't that right? Things that are easy are never as rewarding, isn't that true? Oh, the wisdom of Grant. I'm glad I make Blender easily understandable. Isn't that fantastic? Okay, so we've got front view set up, and it's right in the way of our modeling area. We can pull this backwards, so G then Y to move that backwards, and it can be in the background. It's always there if we go to front view, it's always in line. So that's cool. Now I want the side view set up. Side view is the most important one, I would say. So I'm going to duplicate this. I'll go to top view for that, so 7 on my numpad, and duplicate it with Shift D. Shift D. You've got a lot of these object menus up here as well as duplicate objects if you're lost at all in the object menu just there. And I can rotate this 90 degrees, R90. If you're in top view, then it automatically rotates by the Z axis, because that's the view that you're looking into. That makes sense. Let's line that up. And let's go to side view now with 3 on my numpad. Again, you can use these Cartesian coordinates here. Where am I? Side view is just there, isn't it? No, it isn't. Yes, it is. And let's move this behind our cube. If I press the right button. Oh no, I wasn't. I was in front of you there. Oh, what an idiot. Yeah, oh dear. It all goes wrong when you do these things live. Right, there's side view. I know it's side view because the x-axis is going across. Sorry about that. So let's grab this one and G then Y to move it in the Y and move it over like this. Side view of 3, let's just line it up a little bit better, so roughly in the middle. Doesn't matter too much. Now what you mustn't do is move it up a bit, let's say, because then your images won't line up. So if I go back to side view, need to make sure that his feet are on the axis or the ground level like so. Okay, let's give that a few seconds whilst you catch up. The image is in the description, so you can grab it from in there, and you're going to be following along with me, aren't you? How many people are following along? Give me a thumbs up if you're following along with me. I like to know that I'm not just talking to thin air. Otherwise I could go a bit quicker, perhaps, if people don't fancy following along so much and they just want to watch me do something. I can't understand that, but you got to follow along. You've got to get involved. You've got to do these things. There we go. Ruzel, is that how you pronounce that? Yep. Yep. I'm giving out gold stars all over the place. Ray Studio. Hey, we got 2 people following along. Ah, yeah, nice. Avocado Fire, you're following along as well, are you? Where's the in front option again? It's not in front, it's X-ray view. So we're looking through options. So the X-ray view is there. So if I toggle that off, then you can see the cube, which is in front. And if I toggle it back on again, now we can see the background images. It's important that you have that enabled in X-ray view. You can have wireframe as well. You just sort of see that wireframe. It's weird when you turn X-ray mode and wireframe on. It's kind of weird. But that's how yeah. So X-ray mode and wireframe have to be on to actually sort of be able to see through it. Otherwise, you get this sort of weird. I don't know what the heck that is. They sort of added that in 3.5 for some reason. Oh, we've got lots of people following. Look at this. Look at this. I've got loads of students following along. This is great fun. There seems to be a bit of lag in my chat. How can I see that quicker? Is there a way of seeing that quicker, perhaps? Maybe it's just how it is. Maybe the lag is just how long it takes to go live, perhaps. That's all it is. But nice to see you all following along. That's wonderful. Makes me happy, that does. Makes me happy. Cool stuff. I'm just going to bring out this window so I can see the chat easier. And, oh, that's all going wrong here. I've got some reference images on my other screen as well, because although we've got this wonderful drawing by myself here, I have actually got some references here as well, just so to give me ideas. We're not necessarily going this fine in terms of the detail, probably more, a little bit more this sort of direction, but looking better than that. But I just wanted some references to give me ideas about the shape of the fox's head. It really ought to have had a real fox there as well, but strangely, real foxes don't look as cool as people who've drawn the foxes because they've got all the shape there. So yeah, I often use artist reference rather than photography reference, but I ought to have a photography reference as well, really, shouldn't I? Anyway, so the next stage is we start building. If you've got any questions, then do. I think what do you have to do to sort of highlight it as a question? Probably something, but if you do that, then I can see it's a question easier, and then I can answer them and help anybody, hopefully, if they're stuck. Now, to make the body of the fox, we'll start with the body. I want to delete the default cube. I know that's a bit of a cliche. So we select the cube, delete it, and then I'm going to add. So Shift A to add, or you go to the Add menu here. It's under Mesh and Plane. So we start with a plane like this. Now I'm still in wireframe mode, so I'm just going to click change to solid mode with the X-ray view on. Okay, that's probably what you're still on because I was just showing that off. Yep, we're still. Oh, hang on, I'm not live. That's what's the. It's probably my screen that was going weird actually. Yep, just checking if there's any questions. We're all good. That's been around since 2.8, has it? Oh, didn't realise. Yep, we're all good. Oh, that's a good point. That's pure ref for my reference images. Thanks. And everybody's upset about the cube. Okay. There is quite a delay, actually. That's frustrating. I want instant feedback, everything to be instant. But there's quite a big delay there. I wonder why that is. You're about, I would say, 5 seconds behind me. So I'm sort of looking to see if there's any questions. A question emoji would work, actually. Yeah, that's a cool one. Thank you, Wendy. And I see. It's and you can do a question like that, can you? Oh, I don't know. What are we doing? Why is everybody saying F? Oh, I see. F for the default cube. You see, this is this delay. I was thinking, what? Oh no, my stream failed or something. Oh, yeah. Anyway, right. So hopefully you've added an image plane. I'm just going to recognise that you are a few seconds behind me, and we want to rotate this in the y-axis 90 degrees, so it's standing upright, flat against our side image here. Okay. So this is with the default, not the default cube, the default plane, with the default plane selected, just the plane, it's not default. What are we? Y90. Just double checking. Okay, so we've got this plane like this in front of our reference image here. We're going to trace around the fox. So F means stream technical difficulty. So that's what I thought, and I was panicking, but it was just the default cube dying. I think that's what everybody was all worried about. The default cube, maybe, I don't know, or only use F if there is a problem. Then I know there's a problem, and I can pause. Okay, no default cube eulogies or anything. Okay, so we're going to side view. So that's 3 on my numpad. Again, Cartesian coordinates up here if you need to use those. So you'd click on the X. And I want to move this into position. And I'll scale it down so we can sort of get the bulk of the body like this. Okay, and I'll zoom in a bit. So we're going to start tracing around in a second. Just having a quick look at the chat. Hope that's all right with everybody. If I just pause and see what's going on. Right. So the next stage, hopefully you're comfortable with this, is going into edit mode and editing the shape. If you're not comfortable with that, then you probably want to check out my beginner series, which goes into more detail. Did I put the link in the description for that? I think I did. Pretty sure I did. So link in the description for that playlist. I'm just going to check my video details. Oh, do you know, I didn't put that one in. That's a bit stupid of me, wasn't it? Well, I'm kind of assuming to some degree that most people are... oh, did I put it in? Oh, that's weird. Because my description has changed. What's going on? What's going on with the live stream? It's frustrating. Let me see. No, that's weird. It is there. No, it isn't. There's a couple of courses if you want to take my courses, so you want to support me. There's my courses and the course links, but I didn't put in the playlist. You can find it on my channel. If you just go straight to my channel page, you can find the playlist for the beginner, Grant's beginner playlist thingamajiggy. So yeah, if you're comfortable going into edit mode, then you'll be able to follow along pretty easily, I reckon. Thank you, Reveille, for, is that Reveille? Yep. For loving me. That's beautiful. Okay, so into edit mode with the plane. So make sure that's selected. Tab is to go into edit mode, or you go to edit mode up here if you've forgotten that. And now we can select these vertices and move them into position. So I'll select vertices, vertex, and G to grab and move it into position. And what we're trying to do, so I'm just selecting, I always box select. It's always a habit of mine in case there's a vertex behind that one or something. So I tend to box select things, but we can box select like this. Okay, so I've got this starting point here. Oh, thank you very much for the donation. I usually have a sort of a sound, but it's been a while since I've done any streaming, and I've forgotten how to use the software, as you can probably tell. But yeah, thank you very much, Ali, for that. Oh, thank you very much, Katerina, as well. That's fantastic. Hand painted tutorial. Maybe we'll do some hand painting at some point. If people want to do hand painting and follow along, then let me know in the chat, or you can contact me on Discord or anything like that with suggestions. That's a good point. If you've got any suggestions, then do go to the Discord. I think there is a, let's see how we're getting on. Is this how boring my channel is at the moment? There is a channel for suggestions just there, so suggestions, there we go. Right, let's go back to the live stream channel. I love that, love it. Bit of Aardman animation. Okay, so we're going to create the body of the wolf, and you want to trace around this bit first. Notice I've gone from this point to this point, which is the beginning and the end of the leg, where the leg sort of, the front of the leg and the back of the leg. That's quite important for the topology later on. So try and match my shapes in terms of their size, the rectangles. So I can now box select these two like this, so box select. Hopefully you know what I mean by that, so just click and drag over two. And then I can extrude them out, so I'm extending the shape outwards. So E to extrude, so E, and extrude it out. And I can, whilst these two are selected, I can scale them down, rotate them, G to grab, move them into position. So that's S, G, and R are the shortcut keys for that. And then I can press E again to extrude it out further. And again, scale it down, G to grab, and move it into position. I probably need to tidy this up a little bit there. Might be a little bit low now. So we're trying to get a similar shape to mine in terms of the topology. This is quite important that you have the same amount of cuts as me. It doesn't matter if you've got, let's say, an extra one in here. That doesn't matter too much. But if you're really detailed like this, and you've got loads of them going on here, then it can get more difficult later on, because you've got more vertices and more stuff to move around. So we're trying to keep it really simple to start off with. So you should have just 3 like this, okay? Hand painting stream would be cool. Excellent, Red Panda Dev. We'll think about that next time maybe. I'm just going to move these so they're kind of level and in line. Doesn't matter too much, won't make too much difference. Then E to extrude this one back, so select those 2, E to extrude, move them back, and we might, and I'll grab this top one like this, we might have to, looks like we're going to have a cut all the way through here at some point. And we might have to have an extra one down here because we're not following the curve very well of his back of his back. Ah, cool, you took part in your first jam ever, Shredder. Love that. How did you get on? Did you enjoy yourself? Yeah, deciding on how many loop cuts is probably the hardest part with making low poly shapes. Always start off as simple as possible. So I definitely need a rectangle here for the leg to come out and one here for the leg to come out. But notice I'm talking about that doesn't really follow the shape of the back of the leg, so I need an extra loop cut in there probably, and one at the back here to follow that curve. So we're just trying to meet the extremities of the curves. The curves? The curves. Okay, so in order to do that, I need a loop cut in here. So we can't use the extrude anymore. We have to use Control R for the loop cut. The loop cut tool is somewhere around here. I very rarely use these tools because I use the shortcuts instead. But Control R is the shortcut for that. So Control R, and you move your mouse around, and this yellow line is where it's going to put the extra cuts. Now if I left click, that will set it, but then it says where do you want it, and I can just move it roughly into the middle and left click again. So you left click twice with the loop cut tool. Hello, Marin? Marin, is that right? This kind of reference, generally you're looking for 3D art reference or character reference sometimes. You can find these sort of references. But that's why you need to take my beginner art course, and we learn how to make these sort of references. Very useful. Nice. I've got all these courses I can sell you. Okay, so I'm just going to move this into place. This one can come down a little bit, so there's a bit of a curve there. And we need another loop cut going through the middle now. Okay, so what's the loop cut, the shortcut for the loop cut? Yeah, that's the point. Avocado fire. Laurie, I'll answer that question, as it were, in a second. So what's the... See, there's 5 seconds delay. It's frustrating. What is the tool for... What's the shortcut for loop cut? Shortcut for loop cut. Oh, sometimes known as blueprints as well. That's a good point, yep. Yeah, character turnaround, character reference, character style sheet sometimes they're called. Hello, Nero and Nicole. Control R, you got there first. Gold star to you, Ruzel. Wendy, John, you're just that little bit too late, I'm afraid. Well done. Okay, so hopefully you don't mind my silliness. I don't know why, but I have fun doing this sort of thing. Model sheet is another one as well, yeah. Yeah, which Laurie mentioned, I always find it hard to know which shape to trace around, because you might have thought, oh well, we'll just keep tracing around here, go down here, all the way up here, around here. Well, because there's where you've got extrusions like an arm or a leg, you need to actually extrude the faces outwards. So always start with the bulk of the shape first, the body in this case. Even the head, from this point on, we need to extrude the mouth out. We'll go that way in a second, but hopefully I'm clearing up a few things for you. Okay, so I like the silliness. Thanks, Wendy. Appreciate that. So Control R to do a loop cut across the middle, and again you just move your mouse into position until it sort of finds its place. Left click and left click again, and now I can give him a bum. I'm going to bring that up a little bit. I know this curve isn't being found quite yet, but we can add some topology in here a little bit later on when we need to. But I've got an area for a tail to come out in a bit. We can see your mouse. WebGR. Oh, is that... I tried to make my mouse bigger. Is that what you're getting at? Because of visually impaired people. Is that okay? Is that awkward? It is tough though, isn't it? I'm just going to make my background image a little bit less obvious. So, oh, why is it not working? Oh, it's because I'm in edit mode. So you don't have to follow along with me, but I'm just going to make them a little bit more transparent. So I'll try and make them a bit more transparent. That's interesting. Oh, I'm in the I'm in object properties, and it's actually object data properties. Oh man, classic. Yeah, so I'll just make it a little bit. That's probably the other one, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Let's try that again, just so it's easier to see my mouse. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that's helping people who are slightly visually impaired or anything like that. Okay, so click back on the plane into edit mode. So this is where you should all be. So we're going to go with the front now. So grab these, E to extrude and out, and then I'll rotate those with R, S to scale, and move those into position. And yes, there's a sort of area here that's sticking out, but I'm trying to keep them roughly the same sort of size, and I can add topology later on. Try and keep it simple. This is actually yeah, honestly I made the mouse bigger. That this is bigger than normal. Everybody's got mouse issues. Anyway, so another extrusion. So with those selected, E to extrude out to here, and we've got the start of the face there. You see that? Beautiful. Now we will have. It's always tricky, this bit. This is the bit I find tricky, and there's a couple of ways of doing this, but I'm in favour of just sort of bending it round to this point here. So we do end up having some tight topology in here. So we'll select those three there, and make sure you don't have this one selected. If you accidentally select an extra one, Control box select will deselect it, in case you didn't know. So I'll E to extrude this out, and we'll go around the corner here. So rotate that round to somewhere around here. It's probably just as easy to select them and move them. Something like this. Again, we'll get the top of the head later on, and I might do some interesting things with the topology around the head, we'll see. And just checking. Is extruding, scaling and rotating better than manually moving the points around? I find it a little bit faster, so if I select these and E to extrude, I've always got those three selected, so I can extrude them again without having to reselect them. So it's just a tiny bit faster by rotating and scaling down. And you can see I've got those three still selected that I can extrude them out with, if that makes sense. Just having a look at my reference images slightly. I'm tempted to extrude out from here, so bring these forward, so G to grab, and it probably doesn't matter too much. Probably should have practiced a little with this shape. E to extrude, and extrude out like this, I think. And bring that one up to about there. So we've got the very basics, and I've just extruded this edge out instead of all three for the last one. Okay, it's not that important, but it might become important if you get lost and can't follow along with me later on. So it's just helpful to have the same as me. I'm not sure what that means. Just press Control R in the wrong tab. Oh, you mean as in you're in the different yeah. Oh, you can also, yeah, you can. If you select two vertices like this or an edge like this, you can Control right click to extrude things out. But obviously don't follow along with me. Okay, so how are you progressing? How are you getting on? Let me know by taking a quick screenshot and putting it in to here. There's the Fox image if you need it in the Discord as well. That's probably a better place to put it, really, rather than the link in the description. I don't know. It's both places now. What's going on in general chat? Hopefully you're all good. Yeah, I find the Control right click is a little bit hard to see which way it's going to rotate. So I think, hey, there we go. I think it's better to do it without Control right click. That's perfect. Yep, that's good. Oh, look, there we go. That is a really interesting theme you've got there. It's probably I don't change my theme because people start panicking and they see my theme and think I've got a different version of Blender. But there's some nice themes around and better for your eyes and all sorts of things. Excellent. Oh, look at this. Oh, Shikaka. I'm not sure how you pronounce that. You've gone the other way round, which is cool. That's no problem. You might have be in the opposite side view, but it doesn't matter. You can do it that way as well. This is great. I'm enjoying myself. Everybody's doing it. Loving it. It's good fun, isn't it? It has taken me half an hour to get this far, so I'm concerned with how long this is going to take us. But I might have to sort of speed up the last bit. The last bit's always the trickiest bit in terms of getting it to really look like a fox, and that takes a bit of artistic skill. But the first bits are more technical. Okay, so let's minimize that. And now we need to make this sort of full body. So if I use my middle mouse button to move around a bit, you can see that we've got this flat plane of a fox. So we need to extend it out. Right, now the key to this is understanding your object origin. That if I deselect everything, Alt-A, deselect everything, that orange dot just there, that is your object origin. And we need that to always stay in the center line. This on the y-axis here, it's on the center line. And we know that because if I press N on my keyboard and go to Item, and if I go back into object mode, you don't have to follow along with this. You can, that's by pressing Tab to go back into object mode. You can see the X location, the location along the X-axis, is 0. That's quite important that we keep it there because we're going to mirror the two sides. And all the problems with mirror is usually because you haven't got your origin in the right place. So take a note, that little origin point there, the orangey dot, is in X-axis 0. Okay. Just checking everybody's good. If you've got any questions, then I think there's that question format. Did I miss your chat? Sorry, video pool. Somewhere, but hello. Good to hear you're still learning. Ciliana, something like that. Anyway, so I've got my back into edit mode, so hopefully you're all here. What I want to do is move my object across without moving the object center. That has to stay in the middle. The best way to do this is, I think, in edit mode. So you select everything in edit mode, and then you move it across in edit mode. Because when you move things in edit mode, it doesn't move the object origin. So with everything selected, you grab it all, press G then X to move it across slightly, somewhere like that. And at this point we can go to front view actually, so 1 on my keyboard, and we can roughly line it up with the edge of our fox. So I'll go a little bit in, so some of it's going to stick out, some of it's going to come back in. Just checking we're all okay. Right, so there is my object origin still in the center. That's key. Okay, so we got all our shape and the object origin is still in the center. Okay, if your points are not aligned on the y-axis for any reason, that means you might not have been actually in side view when you're extruding. So if I select these and extrude out now, you can see that they go off at a slight angle. They go perpendicular to your camera. It's easy to sort out, so don't panic. So I'm going to undo what I did there. You just select it all and press Scale in the X-axis 0. So SX0, enter. And they should all flatten out and be flat along the X-axis. Okay? The cult of Grant, of course. Oh, well, I'll definitely start a cult then. Yeah. Okay, so with all that away from the object center like this, we can now get our mirror ready. Okay, this is the exciting bit where we start to build the body of the fox. It's the hard bit as well. It's most beginners collapse at this point and say I can't do it because they've moved their object origin. Let's say they've moved all this in object mode and the object origin has moved with it. It will all go wrong, but let's try and make it all go right. So we can do this in edit mode. We go across the modifiers, the spanner or the wrench if you're American, but spanner I call it, and then we add modifier mirror. So it's under generate. We're generating topology, therefore it's under the generate and mirror. Now it's gone wrong. Oh no, it's gone wrong. Look, it's coming out here in a mirror. It is using the object origin just there, but it's mirroring in the global z-axis, okay, which is wrong because I've ticked the x-axis, or I've got the x-axis ticked on my mirror. So what's going on here? Why has it done it? Anybody? Why is this not working and mirroring on the x-axis like it promised me? It said it was going to mirror on the x-axis and it's not. There's gold star available. Gold star. Anybody want a gold star? First, first to say. Exactly that, Rosal. How do you get there so fast? You got 2 gold stars now. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is exactly that. You need to apply your rotation. Okay. Well, the scale you can apply as well, but it's the rotation that's all important. Okay. Yes, you could actually change this to the z-axis and it would work, but we don't want to do that because we want to sort out the actual problem, which is, oh, let's get that right, which is the fact that it's not mimicking along the x-axis. So we want to line up our shape as if it's the same as our global axes. Okay, so right at the start, when I added the plane, it added it flat like this, and I rotated it. So its local x-axis looks like it's going along the z-axis now. Okay, so in order to stop that from happening, we need to rotate it and then say, can you reset yourself? So set the rotation as if we're back to 0 now, and that's apply your rotation. So you have to do this in object mode. So tab back into object mode up here, and then we can press, it's actually, is it under the object menu? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, object menu, apply. The shortcut key is Control A, so apply rotation. And notice what happens when I do that. We've got 2 ducks. We've got 2 bodies of a fox, which is looking a little bit duck-shaped at the moment. But don't worry, we will get there. And that's what it looks like in solid mode. Looks a little bit weird. And there's a reason it looks weird. It looks okay from this side, but it doesn't look okay from this side. Okay. That's actually slightly important there, and we'll come to that a little bit later on. Just check in. There's no problems. Ian, not subscribed. What? I'm disgusted with you. Okay, so now we need to join them together. So we need sort of it'll be very blocky to start off with, but hopefully a strange strangle bob. You're there straight away. You've got a gold star for that one. Flipping the normals. It's the normals that's giving me these strange shading anomalies. You begin to realise that when you're a bit more experienced, if you're not working out what's going on there. But yes, indeed, give yourself a gold star there. So we've given out 3 gold stars already today. You can trade them in for grant bucks, where you can buy stuff on my merch store, which I don't actually have. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we want to join these together. So back into edit mode, and I want to select the outside of my shape. I might as well go to edge mode for this because I'll be extruding the edges so that they come into the middle. So edge mode is up here, or you can press 2 on your keyboard, not your numpad, but your keyboard. All these gold stars given away for free, aren't I? So Alt left click will select a loop of edges, but they always stop when you hit a pole. Describe a pole quickly. What do I mean by a pole? Describe a pole in 1 sentence for a gold star. For a gold star. So what is a pole? So when I press Alt left click, I can select these loops, but they stop at poles. What is that? And what do I mean? And why are poles important? Turn on clipping. I will do in a second, Red Panda Dev. Thank you for reminding me. Clipping is this button here, you see. We'll turn that on in a second, and I'll talk about that. Actually, you can select you can select all, and then you have to go up here to select all, don't you? There's a select boundary loop somewhere, isn't there? But I can't remember where it is. Where is it? Select boundary loop. Select loops. Select boundary loop. There we go. You can do it that way, yeah. Is there a shortcut for that? Select boundary loops? No. But, yeah, you could do it that. I'm a Pole. So if you're from Poland, then you might be classed as a Pole. It's the end of the edge loop. Yeah. A point that connect with more than 2 edges. Yes. 4-way vertices, kind of. You're getting the idea. But basically, this one here isn't a pole because it's got 4 edges going into it. Anything that hasn't got 4 edges going into it is classed as a pole. So this is a pole because it's only got 2. So when I select my edge loop, again I'll go to edges, Alt left click, it only goes up to that point. You can, when selecting edge loops always stops at the pole, and this one only has 2 going into that vertex, so it stops there. This one only has 3, well it wouldn't go much further anyway, and this one down here and so forth. Yep. So those are poles, and that's quite important. It's really good. That's why it's helpful to model in quads, because you can then chop your shape up with loop cuts really easily, but they won't go through triangles or poles. So that's why we try and avoid modeling with n-gons and triangles. But you can. It just means it's more awkward to model with them. Okay. Yeah, you can just press Alt left click and then hold down Shift Alt left click and go around selecting the outside, or as was mentioned earlier, we've got select loops, edge loop, boundary loops, boundary loops. Hopefully that makes sense. Got a bit of hay fever at the moment, so sorry if I'm sniffing a little bit there. Yep, so make sure you've applied your rotation with Control A. This is an object mode, Control A rotation. Make sure that's applied, and that you've added a mirror modifier on the x-axis. Okay, now I've got that selected, I can press E to extrude and pull it inwards. I need to press E then X as well, so it extrudes on the x-axis. But notice I can go in and it goes beyond itself, and then over here we've got this weird thing going on. We don't want that. We want to go to the middle and make it stop. And that's what was mentioned earlier. I can't remember who it was by, but they said about the clipping. So we make sure that's ticked. Easier if you do that before you extrude. And then G to grab in the x-axis, or E to extrude if you haven't already. Okay. So now they're clipping together. If I press G to grab, they won't go anywhere. They'll go up and down, but they won't go on the x-axis this time, because they're clipped or stuck together. Now boundary loops didn't work for me. Excuse me. Boundary loops didn't work for me for some reason. It may be because you've got some doubles, and it's a good idea for everybody to do this now. Select everything with A and press M to merge by distance. And if you've got anything removed, 0 vertices I've got written there, but if you've got anything like removed 1, 2 or so, then you had some doubles, and that might be why it's not selecting the boundary loop. The other reason might be normals, and it's a good idea to get to this point before you check your normals, but we'll check them now. Oh yeah, you can press GX0. No, you can't press GX0 actually, because if I press GX0, it's moving it in the x-axis 0. But you can go, in fact, you might be able to go to the item transforms just up here, and then put that to 0. I'm not sure actually. I don't know. But yeah, just move it in the middle. And now we've got a very blocky dog. We won't be able to rig it in the time we have in this stream, I don't think, because I'm thinking of going for about an hour and a half. It'll probably end up being a couple of hours at the rate I'm going, but I'm having fun. That's the main thing. But I don't think we'll get time to rig it, because it's unless I go really quickly. I could do that. We can try. I can do a rigify mesh, and then we can put it into position perhaps. But I'll probably go a bit faster through that bit. So do you need to select the entire figure before using boundary loops, do you? That's, but maybe you have to do that. Select everything before you do that. I didn't realise. Okay, so we've got a very blocky looking dog, and we might want to change aspects of it now. So, but first we've got to check the normals. That's what we're going to do first. So you can do this in edit mode or object mode. We go up to the overlays here, so that's that button up the top here. Click on the down arrow, and there's face orientation. If it's all blue, you're fine. If it's all red, then you need to press Shift N, and that recalculates the normals. For me, it's recalculated them on the outside, and it's fine. If it looks like that, then you need to make sure that you press Shift N, and it will recalculate them. I do still have a dog. Yep. He's Frank. He's downstairs at the moment. He's probably a bit upset because he's getting old, so he doesn't walk up the stairs anymore. Sometimes he sits next to me, but he doesn't, because he just gets, he's too old. Struggles with the stairs, unfortunately. Oh yeah, and you can't do that with X-ray on. Sorry, thank you very much for pointing that out. So yeah, so make sure your X-ray is off to check for normals. Thank you for that. In fact, who was that? That was WebGR. Oh no, that wasn't. Who was that? Who said about that? Ruzel. Oh, I'm giving out another gold star. Oh, that's 3, is it? How many you got? Why do normals matter? It's the way that faces are facing. It matters loads if you want to take this and put it into a game engine, because it will just go invisible, because they save processing power by only viewing normals from one side. But it also matters when you come to, let's say, sculpt it or paint it or anything like that. It thinks you're painting on the reverse side. So getting the normals right at this stage is helpful. Now my llama looks like a dinosaur. Yep, Frank is my dog. That's right. Frank is downstairs. Oh, excuse me. My hay fever is playing up. Makes it difficult to talk, strangely, constantly like this. It starts making my breathing go funny. I had a problem with this a few years ago on a live stream, and it's always in the summer I seem to do live streams. Maybe I get happy in the summers, and then my breathing gets difficult. But I realised it was just hay fever. Anyway, we're going to change the shape now, so we can turn the normals overlay off. So under the overlays, we can turn face orientation, turn that off, and then we can start editing our shape. The first thing I'm going to do is go to face mode with 3. Did it by what do you call it when you naturally do these things and you forget that you're doing them even. So face mode 3 on your keyboard, or face mode up here. Select a face, G then X, and move that one in. So I'm doing the face at the moment. Might go to X-ray mode for this and front view so I can line it up. It's difficult to see though. Can you see G then X and move that inwards so it's in line with the muzzle of our fox. Should we do a little bit more editing? It's not great that, so I'm going to pause on that and just bring the muzzle in for now. We won't do any other editing for the moment. Or will we actually? I'm tempted to start editing, but we'll do one more. We'll move just this vertex here because it looks a bit weird. That vertex on the edge, I'll go out of X-ray mode so you can see that. It looks a little bit weird when it's like this, so I'm just going to go to front view and G then X and move that in as well. We're probably going to need some extra topology in here. Already we can see that because we're going to want to fill that out, so we'll do that later on though. We'll get the legs in first, that's all important. We need to, the neck here could go in as well, so I'm going to select from here, control select here, or you can just box select all the way down if you want, but control select takes the shortest path, so it will select from there to there, and G then X and move that in a little bit, and a little bit of a waste, so these ones here, G then X and move those in a little bit. So we've got a very, very rough shape of a fox. I'll go to top view so you can kind of see what's going on there. It's like that. Well, slight top view so you can kind of see. Actually, what's the best view to leave it on whilst I check the chat? So something like that. Is it okay not to have not planar quads? Now planar means they're flat, and the quads are a little bit weird. We sort that out as we go. It's fine whilst you're modelling. It's a good thing to keep them as quads while you're modelling. But later on, we'll want to change that. Yes, indeed, we will. If they didn't know what it's a fox, does that look like something weird? It looks a bit like a duck at the moment, doesn't it? And then we have it. We'll shorten the stream and we'll just say we've made a duck. Job done. Robert. Rob. I'm very happy that Man City won. The British side. I don't really support City as such, Manchester City, who won the Champions League, but I was pleased that an English club won, which is silly, really, isn't it? It was a mediocre game. It wasn't amazing. Okay, we need to let's check the chat for a moment. Hey, there we go. We're doing well. We've got some good stuff here. Am I on the live stream? Yep, there we go. Good, good, good. That's interesting that it's got a line through it, but it's working. Yep, we're going. There we go. Yep, it's all looking good. how worked the box select again? So if you've got any questions, put it in the stream and I'll see it easier, because I'm only checking this a few times, but the stream I'm trying to keep ahead of. So you can box select by just clicking and dragging. Now for any reason that's changed, you need to, because you might have accidentally pressed circle select, which is this one, you need to change that over here. I think there's a shortcut to this. I think, is it W? Yeah, W can tab through those. So if you accidentally hit the W key and you can't box select, it's a frustration. I've been there. Seahorse, it's a seahorse. Nice to see you, Essex, is that? And Jen Obvious, nice to see you joining us. Okay, so what we're going to do next is put the legs in. Before we do that though, it's always a tricky one with the legs. There's a couple of ways of doing it. I'm going to do the new way of doing it instead of the old way. I've done a couple of these tutorials, and the old way is to do a loop cut all the way around the middle underneath and then have the legs coming out here. But I actually think it's better to have an actual extrusion for the legs, and you just kind of blend it in later on. Hey, Jazz Newell, isn't it? I won't say your real name because you might not want people to know your real name. But nice to see you. Haven't spoken to you for a while, so good to see you. Well, good to see you on the stream, and say hello on Instagram as well. Anyway, chat caught up with Grant. Chat, what's going on? Anyway, so what I'm going to do is this face here, and notice how the leg muscle on a fox, let's say here, it sort of goes up to the middle there a bit, doesn't it? There's a couple of ways of doing these things, and it often is with modelling, but I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take this one and extrude it out this way, like that, and then we're going to pull the leg down from here, okay? It looks really odd and boxy at the moment, but you just end up smoothing it out and it looks fine later. And the... I can... oh, there's no more chat lag. Oh, that's cool. Oh, excellent. And I think we'll take these two here and extrude out. Yeah, we need to do that, don't we? So extrude out that way. I'm nervous of doing that one because it might make the shape look a little bit weird, but I think we'll be all right. So we've got this sort of, these boxy extrusions. So these two are together. Make sure, I've just undo that and select them together and extrude. Don't do them one at a time because that won't work. It's flipped sideways. I don't know what flipped sideways. It might just be on the view, on the views perhaps, on the Cartesian coordinates at the top here. It might have happened. I don't know. Flipped sideways. Hopefully, your entire screen. So the entire screen. I don't know. That's a technical issue. That one, isn't it? I remember when I used to teach in colleges and schools, there was a shortcut key you could press on Windows that would flip your screen, and people in the know would go around doing that and flip all the screens. You think, oh, what was that shortcut key again? And it would really ruin your lesson. So there is a shortcut key that flips your screen. Anyway, before we do any more here, I want to smooth this out slightly. So into edge mode, I'm going to select this top edge here and press GG. Double tap G to edge slide it down. Can you see how that slides it down? That kind of smooths it out. That's what I'm going for. Then we can pull that out in a second. Oh yeah, so it's that was bang on. So yeah, we are 4 o'clock for me, and that was bang on. So there's no more lag. So there was some weird chat lag. That's nice. Okay, so we got that, and these ones, these two here, GG to edge slide. I love saying GG. Good game. GG Man City. Thank you very much, Wendy. Very much appreciated. And I hope you're following along and doing well. GG to edge slide that one in, so we can sort of create a leg coming out from here. So that's what I mean by smooth them out around here. We can also, hopefully, you're following along with me. I can select these two vertices here, or this edge here, and move that up. So it's sort of like the top of the leg. Can you see that? The top of the leg like that? That's what I'm going for, okay? Yeah, a subdivision surface modifier would work, but we do that at the end. That's very important. AM. Control Shift mouse wheel up. Don't know what that does. And the seahorse is growing wings. Yep. Hello, Tedja, is that right? Grant. I'm not sure what that's. Anyway, GG, Grant, I see, yes, of course it is, I see, thank you. I was thinking, why are you saying Grant? Okay, so we've got this boxy looking dog, but it's getting there, it's slowly getting there. And notice that I'm not actually having to do loads of extra topology to get what looks to be a bit of a fox happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth out the top as well. I'm going to select from here all the way to the edge here. So to here, sorry. So the furthest bit that's sticking out from along the x-axis. So from there to here by holding down Control. So I select this one and Control click this one. It should take the shortest path. If it doesn't take the path you want, you just Control click to this one and then to the end. Okay, so hold down Control left click. Very useful that. And now I'm going to press GG again, GG, to slide it in like this, and then GG again to slide it back. And that, do you see, curves it out like this, and it's starting to look foxy. Foxy. Oh yes, GG to slide it in, then let go. GG to slide it back, and we create the curves. Beautiful. Yeah, now lots of people are happier. This is called box modeling, this technique. Lots of people are happier just sculpting the body and sculpting the whole thing. You need a higher poly mesh to do that. It's just a completely different technique that it's good for artists, and this is good for sort of technical people, I would say, who like more precise, good Grant, GG, more precise sort of intricate. No, it's not intricate, it's just more precise, moving this point to here to make this shape. Hopefully that makes some sort of sense. Does topology matter for a static scene? No. And yes. It will increase your render times. More topology will increase your render times. But generally, it doesn't matter that much. Looks a bit Doberman style now, yes. It's a very strong fox, this one. Okay, we can do the same on these points here and here. And this one here. And these points here and here. I'm holding down Shift for these. And I can, again, press GG to edge slide in. And I'll just edge slide those because I don't want to mess this up. So just edge slide it inwards once. So we've got some sort of shape coming out here. That does make our legs a little bit wide. I'm going to go to front view now so I can start lining these up. So I need to select all these. Let's go to X-ray mode for that. Alt-Z is the shortcut key for that. So I'll select these. G, then X. Forgot the axis then. Bring those in. I might bring these ones in as well. G, then X. Yep, that's getting there. These ones here are on the inside. Hopefully you're still with me here and following along. They're on the inside there. And I want to bring those all the way in to here so my legs stick out. Now that does pose a slight problem down here, which we'll sort out a little bit later on, but it comes in a bit too much there. It looks a bit strange. But again, we'll sort that out later on. Yep, box modeling works just fine. Yeah, decimate. You can make things look low poly with decimate. It's a modifier. Do we need to smooth the front leg as well? In terms of smoothing it with the double tap G thing, no you don't, not yet. Okay, I'll go back to solid mode. It's hard to see in X-ray mode, so I'd usually model in X-ray mode because I can see what's going on, but it's not easy, is it? I'm going to go to side view though and line these things up. That's pretty much lined up there actually. Oh, let's Alt-Z, I'll just bring those in a little bit. I think we do need some sort of cut around here, don't we? So I'm going to, well, in fact, let's just make sure you're all with me. So how are we getting on? Is your shapes looking something like this? Oh yes it is. Oh yes it is. Made an otter. Doing well, doing well. More of a sea lion. This is great. Doing well, people, doing well. Yeah, it's good to be in the habit, quite right, Corey, good to be in the habit of making good topology, because often with sculpts you have to retopologize them. It's good for game engines. If you do need to animate things or you want to move things into a game engine, you need to reduce the polygon count as much as possible. So yeah, that is very true. Why is slow mode being enabled? I don't know how to turn that off. Maybe Corey, you can help if you know how to turn it off yourself. Looking good, looking good. I am a bit concerned that I've done this probably a more complicated way than I needed to, but it doesn't matter too much. We'll get there. This is looking great, by the way. Well done. Excellent. Right, let's go back and pull out the legs. So interface mode with 3. Interface mode, select here. But you can do them at the same time. Oh, that one there. But it's probably easier just to do them one at a time. So I'll go to front view. I'm sorry, select the front leg, go to side view. Is there still this 10-second lag? That's a bit frustrating, isn't it? But it's good that you're still with us, Wendy. E to extrude, bring it down, and then we'll have to scale it in, but only in the Y. We only want to scale in the Y because we don't want to make it any thinner across here. We don't need to. Okay, so scaling, extrude, bring it down, and scale in the Y axis. Okay, and I'll back to side view, and now I can rotate it around, move it into position. Probably a little bit wider, so scale in the Y. Remember, you're always scaling in the Y with this one. So it's something like this, and again, we'll tidy it up as we go. Interesting. Thinking about it, might not be quite right at the moment, but we're getting there. Yep, we've made a beautiful giraffe. Loch Ness monster. There's a camel. Okay, so back to side view. E to extrude. We can go down to about here. We need, if you're going to animate, you do need a joint. What are they called? A joint. And they're about in the middle there. And then E to extrude down to here. I'm just going to scale it down, all of them down now, because it gets the leg gets a bit thinner as we go down. And just move that into position. So just scaling it a little bit. Notice how there's a bit of a kink in his leg, or her leg. So let's Alt left click to select that edge loop going around here. So Alt left click will select these edge loops, and G to grab in the Y again and move that forward slightly. Here we go, and then I want to select that face at the bottom, if I can get that, just there, the face at the bottom. E to extrude and bring that down, and then we have to go to front view and start lining these things up. It's not quite flat at the moment, so how do I flatten this out in the Z axis, this end bit here? How do I flatten it out? In the Z axis. There's a gold star on offer. Let's see if Ruzel is it? Gets another pre-recorded or fake live. It can't really be fake live because I'm chatting with people on the chat. So I'll be doing a very good job. That's very clever. Yes, so mostly okay. You've got the gold star, scale Z0. So let's make sure I've got that selected. Yeah, get that after. There we go. Scale Z, whoop, 0. I actually pressed scale 0Z, but you can do it that way as well. I'm going to select that edge loop there, that face loop in fact, and just line that up. You can select face loops as well by selecting an edge going across the face loop that you want to select. So I can select these edge loops here, but if I select that edge loop, it gets that face loop like this. Hopefully that makes sense, but I can select the face loop there, or just go into wireframe and select it with box select. But let's go into front view, line that up, and start moving these. So I'm Alt left clicking on these to make sure I've got the whole edge loop selected, and we're getting a foxy looking creature. I'll bring this one in as well, so G then X, move that in. I don't think GG to edge slide, GG to edge slide, and that just slowly smooths it out. Probably going to have to do something in here because that looks a bit messy at the moment, but we'll sort that out later. We might have to put some triangles in, n-gons, all sorts of messy stuff. Don't want to be talking about that yet, do we? A face loop is called a ring. Yeah, face ring. That's a good point. Thanks, Ian. Dissonance Depot. Will you be posting this so I can follow along later? Yes, I'll be posting this, and it'll be on my channel under the sort of live section. But why does the duck have legs? Yes, indeed. Okay, it's, yeah, and around here as well. You know, Not happy with the way I've modelled this now, but it doesn't matter because we can sort it out. But I just feel like I've overcomplicated it slightly, that I didn't need to. Anyway, and that does happen whilst I'm modelling objects like this, even no matter how simple it is. Often I'll model it the wrong way and then just tidy it up later. It doesn't matter, you can do it that way as well. I'll select these two faces here. It's weird how that one's come out, so I'm just going to move that in. I probably accidentally moved that in at some point. I'm going to slide that in as well, so the leg's fairly thick there. Back to face mode, make sure you've got sort of similar faces to me, and then we're going to extrude. So I'll go to side view for this, extrude that down, scale in the Y first, and that's about right, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. And then extrude down and scale in the Y. It's sort of at an angle now, so we'll need to rotate when you start scaling the Y there. I'll just go to the end there for the time being, like that, so it's fairly straight. And we can put some topology in there in a second. I'll scale Z 0 now, so it's flattened out for now. And if, yeah, that's fine, isn't it? And then E to extrude, and I can scale it in generally, not just in the Y now, to make it smaller. And we're sort of looking like this, okay? Side view, E to extrude, and down. And we got some back legs there. Slowly getting there, aren't we? You just need to fold the legs forward, and you have a sphinx. Hello, Jan. Is it Jan or Jan, actually? Probably Jan, I reckon. All ducks do have legs, yeah. There you go. It's a very good point. You can turn this into a high poly. Yes, this is a really good point. A low poly animal, you can easily turn into a high poly animal with a subdivision surface modifier or something similar like that. You don't really want to do the decimate stuff before, well, forget I just said that. That's complicating things. But yes, you can. Okay, so we've got somewhere now. There'll be some courses coming up fairly soon. I'm working with someone on a nodes course. They're doing the bulk of the work really, but I'm just sort of helping them along. So we'll do a node, blah, blah. We'll have a nodes course later, an animation one I'm thinking about as well. And I'll probably do a small short course on epic landscapes, because it's just sort of, I'm finding that fun recently, doing epic landscapes. So that might be coming soon in the future. But if you haven't already, it's a good chance for me to plug in the middle of the stream. There it is. If you follow the link, you can buy this bundle for only $25. I think that's a crazy price, but Game Dev TV know what they're doing, and it's great that lots of people can... oh, my stream's going weird. Lots of people can access the courses. You get these 3 courses for only $25. Link in the description. Special price just for this stream. But having said that, I do like to offer these discounts every now and again, so it's not exclusive to this stream. I might offer it in another stream as well. That's weird, my stream was going very strange then, but I think I've got it now. Yes, I'm laughing at you, Jasneel. Sort of private joke that we kind of have, where I don't really get it myself. Anyway, where were we? This is better actually. I'm looking at I think I'm up to date with the stream now, with the chat stream. This is, so that's good. Yeah. What's my secret to a wonderful hairline? I'm sort of experimenting with my hair at the moment. I'm letting it grow a little bit longer, and I cut it a bit myself the other day, and it did not really work. But is it passable at the moment? It's probably glowing green because of the green screen, but hopefully that's all right. Just genes. It's funny, my brother has a really big receding hairline, and he sort of just shaves his hair, but he's got a good shaped head for shaved hair. I haven't, so I'm lucky I've got, well, just about. I'm losing my hair at the top there. I won't show you, but you can just about see if I lean forward. Yeah. Anyway, wait. Let's quickly look at the thingy. Oh, look, there we go. There's me, being weird. Looking good. Oh, catching up. Yes, you can catch up. I'm sure you can catch up. Going fairly slowly here. We've had an hour and a quarter already, and we haven't got that far. A little stuck on getting the legs the right shape. So what I would do is, this is shikaka is I would select that edge down there and bring it inwards in the x-axis. Then they should align. This middle line as well, I'd bring that across as well, so it's sort of around there. But you can extend the legs out first and then bring them in. That helps you to see what's going on. Always really difficult to look at front view and wireframe. It's just very confusing, isn't it? You get used to it, but it does take a little while. And beginning to look like Johnny Bravo. Love it. I'd be happy if I looked like Johnny Bravo. He's one of my favourite TV characters. Your voice bass is even very interesting. My voice bass. Interesting stuff. Lots of people say about my voice. I think it's just the British accent. It's helpful having a British accent because lots of people understand your English. Anyway, so I'm lucky in that sense. Yes, now that I was just going to approach that. Question. The front leg has less topology than the back leg. Indeed it has. And this is probably the time, around about now, to add a new loop cut coming down here. Because I think it's helpful, because this is really, really square, isn't it? And I think it's helpful to have some roundedness to your front leg. So we can press Control R down here to do a loop cut down the entire leg. So we go down there and it comes up the other side as well. That way I can select this edge from here to here. In fact, I'll do that in a second. So first of all, do the loop cut so your back leg matches the front leg like this. But we'll round it out in a second, and I'll talk about that in a moment. ASMR video blend tutorial. It's very strange, but lots of people say that about my voice and ASMR. I don't really get it myself, but who knows? If there's a call for it, I just sort of read bedtime stories or something, and people have actually asked me to do that. I'm sure it won't take long before people will just be copying my voice with AI at some point. Anyway. Egon from the Ghostbusters. Oh no. We do until you start talking metric. Metric is so much easier than imperial. Never understood why everybody didn't go metric. Tutorial animal face retopology. Yeah, maybe we'll do something like that. It's a good teaching voice. It does help for teaching. The Bob Ross of Blender. It's funny that lots of people say that as well, and it's an honour to be called the Bob Ross of Blender. I think, although I think it's an honour. Pretty sure. I mean, he's an iconic character. That's nice. Falling asleep already. A voice for radio. I've got a face for radio anyway. Okay, so now what I want to do is do this extrusion out the front here. So if I go to side view, I need that extrusion of the foot. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to select this face here. If I go to face mode, that would help. Select the face there. Morgan Freeman. Go to front view. Notice it's not aligned, so I'm just going to press SY0 to align that. I'll just get rid of that. And E to extrude outwards. And we can take this top edge here with 2GG to slide that down. And he's got some little dinky feet because they look a little bit weird. I'm going to bring that face out. Hopefully you can all see where I'm looking through his legs at the moment. G then Y. I'm saying he a lot of the time, but it's not necessarily a he. Could be a she. Looks a bit of a she fox in that part of the drawing for some reason. Probably the eyes are wide apart. And that's very true about the accent. It does depend on which part of Britain you're from. And being the southern part is a little bit easier. My mum was an English teacher as well, as in not an English as a foreign language teacher, but an English teacher. So she was big on pronunciation, which is a good thing. G then X on this. I'm just going to widen the feet out a little bit. So G then X, so like that. And this one as well. G then X. So a little bit dinky at the moment, aren't they? And I might take this one as well, G then X. So I'm doing it. Oh, now that was interesting. G then, not G then X, scale X. Scale X. I think, what's going on? So I think the feet need to come out a little bit like that. Looking at my reference images, I haven't got any fox feet on them. And they all seem to be flat. But that's fine. I think we're okay with that. I might eventually have another No, I probably won't. That'll do. That'll do nicely. Okay, then we'll do the front here as well. Calming tone. Yeah, interestingly, I have no idea what makes a female fox and a male fox, but if you were to cartoonify it or anthropomorphize these things to make them more human-like, then this is how cartoons do it. They give the animals human features and therefore make a female have the facial features of female human faces, and the males as well. So males tend to be more angular and sort of solid, and females sort of softer and eyes wider apart, narrower chin, and those sort of things. Bigger eyes as well. So you exaggerate the things that make things female or male, but on a human body, and you add that to animals. It's strange, but because I don't know if that's the case for foxes, whether the females have slightly bigger eyes and wider apart, but they do in female humans, you see, and we anthropomorphize them. And female foxes get paid less. That was from the chat. I didn't say that. I don't want to, no suing here. Yeah, just slap on eyelashes on the eyes, indeed. Anyway, I'm getting distracted by the stream. So let's extrude this shape out. So I've selected that at the front there, into side view. Extrude this way. It's going up slightly, isn't it? So we'll just grab that in the Z-axis and pull that down. I feel like I want to grab all the bottom faces as well. That did not work at all. Let's try and grab them. So all the bottom faces like this, and scale Z0 to make sure that they're all flat on the ground. That's helpful. Let's say if you wanted to 3D print, then they'd all be on the same level and they'd go up and down. And if you want to rig it later and stuff like that, yeah, I've been cancelled. That's it. I've cancelled. Oh, I haven't pressed enter. Right. G then Z. And I want to bring those vertices. I'll just go to wireframe for that. Back a little bit. Do I want to bring them back a little bit? I think I do. G then Y. And these down a bit. G. And just move those down. I'm just lining things up a little bit more with the reference just there. And everything else looks okay. Okay, let's back to solid mode. There we go. It's not looking too bad, is it? Not looking too bad. But there's a fair way to go and not much time. Yeah, female cartoon characters softer and rounder, don't they? Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, thank you, Adam. Love you too, mate. Unlock your hidden talent. Love it. Is it true characters should point forward to the plus Y coordinates? Yes, but Unity has its Y and Z axis in different ways, and it's kind of understandable the way Unity do it. Yeah, but you don't really worry about that in Blender. You do it all as if they're pointing to the front is Y, and then when you export it, you just click a button, sort of thing. What would you do with this model? You can either 3D print it, you can put it into a game, you can make an animation out of it, you can just make a cool picture of a fox, or you can do a cool running animation, all sorts. Your new display tablet arrived. I love display tablets, makes a big difference. The XP Pen one, some of the XP Pen ones are really good. I got sent one the other day, and I'm going to do a review on it, but I'm really impressed. It's the Artist Pro 14, and I'm thinking, wow, this is lovely. And they're going to send me the 16 as well soon, which I'm very excited about, because they're really, really good. Anyway. Right, so where are we? We need to smooth it out now. So we've got this shape. Oh, we need to do the tail though, don't we? So let's quickly go to the tail. We need more topology for the tail. So what I'm going to do, slightly different way of doing it with the tail, and this is thinking about topology with this. I'm going to, let's just go to side view and look where the tail's coming from. It's coming from there. I'm going to actually take this, so I'm going to go to X-ray mode, just take these and move them away from the tail. I want to create a new opening in here for the tail, so it's got more space. And I'll bring this one back in line with the leg there as well, like that. Right, so what I'm going to do is this face here, so that face there, I'm going to press I to inset. Okay, I to inset, and it brings it in like this, but I don't want him to have two tails. I keep saying him. So if you press B for boundary, whilst you're still in the inset mode, you haven't left click or anything, B for boundary, and that keeps the boundary intact, if that makes sense. So I for inset, it's the same as extrude. You're making an extrusion, but you're not pulling it outwards. So I'll undo that quickly. If I press E to extrude, and then left click, and then scale, that does the same thing. So inset, I'll just undo that twice. Notice how I've got extra faces in here because I've got that extra extrusion, so I'll undo that as well. But I to inset will just bring it in, and B for boundary will make it not come in on itself, but take the boundary into account. Okay, so I for inset. Where can you find that? I for inset, it's probably under face, face, inset, faces, there you go. Right, and then let's just line this up a bit. So this one, I'll GG to edge slide. Good Grant. Grant the Great as well. It's, yeah, good budget tablet. XP Pen. I can't believe, I can't see much difference now between the XP Pen and the Cintiq. There's not a, well, I haven't used the most up-to-date Cintiq, so maybe they're amazing for some reason. But I'd always go for XP Pen. They're the ones that are compatible with most systems. If you go for Huion, I'm not doing tablet sell or anything. I'm not meaning to, but if you do want a tablet, XP Pen is who I would recommend. A big fan of them. Now we can take this face, this one we just made here. So we've got this new topology. This is now an edge loop edge ring going around this way. Face ring, that's the word I'm looking for. Going around this way, and it's diverted the topology interestingly. Now I can get this, and let's go to side view again. And E to extrude. Oh, what button did I press then? E to extrude. And I'll move that and rotate it. Whoops, that's not what I meant to press. R is what I meant to press, and scale it up a bit. And E to extrude. I'll just do it fairly quickly, so I'll not do too many cuts here. And he's going to have a very sort of basic tail like this. Scale it right down. G to grab, up like this, rotate. And I'll just move this like that, I think. Oh, it's it's a very fluffy tail, but it's kind of cartoony. I quite like it. I can just select these faces here and here. G, then X, and move those inwards. And this one I'll scale X. Not a problem for Blender though. XP Pen doesn't have the pen tilt recognition, unfortunately. Do you know, I never use the pen tilt, so that's a really good point. I'd forgotten all about that. I thought they did have some that... Yeah, I'm not sure, but you're probably right on that. It's something I never use. I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit. GG, GG. I should go to side view for that, but I can kind of see that smoothed out there. That's nice. And we're kind of looking pretty good now. So let's Alt-Z, see what it's looking like. Not too bad. Now, I'm regretting this topology here. It's not very good, is it? So what I'm going to do is break a cardinal rule of modeling in Blender. I'm going to... Am I going to? Let me think. There's several ways I could do this. I'm thinking of the best way to not be confusing, but I might have to be confusing. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to be confusing. I'm going to do it. These two here, this is bothering me. It's great for the back leg here, but I don't think it's working very well for the front leg. So I'm going to select these two edge loops here. Yep, they'll be on my channel later for reference, yes. The cardinal rule in Blender, in modeling in general, is don't go away from quads, but it's not a big deal. Oh, it keeps saying that. First of all, I'm going to try scaling them in. See if that helps. No, it doesn't. So I'm not going to bother that. I'm actually just going to press Control X. So that's the same as pressing X and then going dissolve edges. Oh, where it's off the screen. Hang on. Oh, dissolve edges. Sorry, no, it's there. Dissolve edges. Right. Now, tell me what the problem is with doing that. Why is that a problem? What have I done to my shape that I shouldn't ever do? It's the first rule of Blender. Don't do this. I've lost my chat now. There it is. Bring it back over here. That's much better. Got my chat. Can I do a pop out chat? I'm just trying to get this to a position where I can I pop out the chat? Pop out chat. There you are. That's better. It's much better. I've got a triangle. Yeah, who said that first? Who said it first? There's a gold star on offer here. Gold stars are really important. I think Jasmine Law. There's a triangle indeed. And you know what they say? First rule of Blender. Destroy all the triangles. So what I've got there is a triangle, as you can see just there. That's absolutely fine. It's okay. I promise you it's okay. Because I could re-divert this quite easily and not have a problem triangle. I'm just thinking of the best way to do it. Because what I've got... well, in fact, if you're following along with me, you might want to have a go at this now. It's because it's a topology problem that you're always going to come across, and it's frustrating, and sort of, oh, what do I do about the triangles and this sort of stuff? Try and figure out how I can fix this triangle here, okay? Just have a think about it for the moment. Greetings from Czech Republic. Hello, Prokop. Can't you just move one edge you deleted upwards? Yes, I can. It's actually pretty simple, isn't it? It's pretty simple. That is exactly it. So, well done. Who said that? Yes, be un. It's really simple. It's surprisingly easy. These two here, I can just edge slide them up to the other one, and then I've got myself quads again. And I've deleted the way I sort of extruded it in the first place. Okay? Don't panic if it's confusing. You can also, let's say, use the knife tool. I could get the knife tool and cut across here, or I could go to vertex mode, from here to here, join these, and then from here to here. J to join, by the way, J to join, and get rid of these. Then I've got two triangles now, but then I can just go to this one here, and this one here. Is that the right one? No, it's not that. It's not that one, is it? Yeah, I'm confusing myself. That one there, and that one there. That's better. Yeah, and then I have to sort of do it down here as well. But the easiest way, I'm undoing this because that's the long way of doing it. The easiest way is to select this edge loop here and here, and GG to edge slide. Now before you do this, I can edge slide it up to there, but if I press GG again, it's not actually joined in to those vertices up here. These ones haven't joined to those ones. I need to press this merge vertices button here, auto merge vertices. Okay, make sure that's ticked, and then I can press GG to edge slide it up, and now when I press GG again, see it's sliding it back down. And I can actually slide this back down comfortably because I need to round this out a little bit more. So I'm just going to bring these down a bit, and that's looking a lot nicer, isn't it? Just say, yes, Grant, it's looking loads nicer. And they're all thinking, oh, that's awful, that is. But it's better topology, I think. I'm not sure whether it's better for animation, but it's better looking at the moment. There is actually nothing wrong with triangles. I was having a bit of a joke there, and I shouldn't have, because that's just confusing to newbies. Sorry about that. There's nothing wrong with triangles. It just makes modeling more difficult. And people will say, oh, there's a triangle there, because they're really keen on it with topology and stuff. But there's nothing actually wrong with them. I use them all the time. And in low poly work, it makes things look quite cool. So as you go along in your Blender journey, you'll find that there are problems with having triangles in your shapes. It does look kind of cool at the moment. It's not looking great in the face though, is it? So we'll have to do a little bit of work there. I'm going for an hour and a half, so it looks like we're going to go for the 2-hour mark. And maybe we'll make the fox, and then in the next episode we'll do some next episode. I wasn't expecting to do 2 episodes on this, so sorry if you're expecting to have this finished today. We could do some rigging and animation, maybe. We'll see how we go. Shoulders out a bit. Yeah, I think you're right there. These ones here need to come out a bit. Let's have a look at the front view. Yep, they definitely need to come out. I'll go to wireframe so you can kind of see, but I've got the shoulders selected. They need to come out like that. The front legs, these ones here, those ones there, need to come in a little bit. G to grab, move those in. These vertices here need to come in a little bit as well. And we're slowly getting there. That's probably out. That's out the right distance, but then I need to move these out as well to sort of create more of a bulk. A little bit too thin. and we need to smooth out the legs a bit. Okay, so Alt Z back into solid mode. How are we looking? Let's just quickly check how you guys are getting on. Insect with boundary for the tail doesn't work for me. It may be that you've got some doubles, so select all your shape, M, merge by distance. Do that first, and then try doing your shape. If that's still not working for some reason, you can use the knife tool to just cut out the shape. So K for knife tool, and you've got this knife like this, and you can cut out vertices like this. It does get a little bit tricky though, and then just press enter and you'll have this extra topology for that. That's fine. What's happening? We're making a low poly fox, as you can see there. Hopefully that's not what's happening, it's all gone wrong or something. You could sculpt this later. It would be a really good base shape for sculpting, certainly. That would work. Right, I want to smooth out. Oh, actually, I was going to see how people are getting on. Hopefully people are, they're doing all right. Nice work, people. Nice work. Oh, look at that. That's quite cool. It's quite a chunky one, that one. Backy. Your legs are a bit weird. They're not too bad. And I'm just going to click on that. I've got an extra loop cut coming down here, which you have at the back, but we'll sort that out a little bit later. But you might want to add an extra loop cut down there. And then remember this edge here, you want to slide that up. Actually, you want to this edge here you want to dissolve, so Control X, and then this one here underneath it, can't zoom in on this. Can I zoom in on it? No, I can't. This one here you want to slide that up to the other one. That's what I just did now. See some n-gons near the end. I don't think there are any on my shape, but there might be. Doesn't matter. Good stuff. Backy. I want to say Becky, but it's Backy. And Dr. Draval, perhaps. That's cool. We're looking good. Yep, looking really cool. Oh, what did I just do there? I opened it up in a new window. Oh, I've lost my chat. Ah, what did I do? What did I do? Oh, I've lost my chat. There's I'll pop out chat again. There we go. Yeah, you might find your fox looks more like a dog at the moment. That looks like a llama. That is a llama. Hey, nice work. I was thinking your fox has gone completely wrong. And then I saw the background image, which is a llama. There we go. I accidentally created a wrench. Ah, that's your mirror going wrong. You've got X and Y there. You need just the X. Yeah, but it looks kind of cool. And you need to Control A to set the scale. Looking good, Wendy. Looking good. You just need to do that. Let's go into there. The dissolving of this one. The dissolving of the edge. And then slide the other one up. Hopefully that didn't confuse people. What do you do with the shoulders, Wendy? Right. So that I think you were just typing that as I was talking about it. So it's this edge here. We're dissolving. And then the one below it, once that's dissolved, we can select that and slide it upwards. Hopefully that makes sense. Cool. Right. How do I mirror this? You probably need to go back to that section and talk about the mirror. Yep, there we go. Thanks, Jazzy. Is that who I think it is? Maybe. I'm not sure. Legs, very nice. Oh, tail's going out. That's because your face, your points weren't clipped. So just there, I can see it in fact. Clipping is not turned on. Make sure that's turned on. So delete this and try that again with clipping turned on. They should stay together. Okay, we're getting there. That's looking cool. Is that just a C? Just C? Looking good, people. Looking good. Done a loop cut down there. So lots of you haven't got the loop cut down the front leg. So just watch out for that. The dissolving of the edge. A new book by Grant Abbott. It's and there's an audio version as well, which people love to send them to sleep. Look at this. Oh, we've got masses of people joining in. This is lovely. This is lovely. Well done, people. Well done. How are we getting on? I'm just seeing if I want to see if where's my how many people are still with us? 230 viewers. That's perfect. So that's wonderful. It means we haven't lost too many. Because I think there were 230 at the start. So that's perfect stuff. Hopefully you're all still enjoying it. Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me and having loads of fun. Cool stuff. Okay, so back to this is why it's kind of helpful doing a live stream like this, because I can talk through how people's work is going. Shikaki, you need another loop cut down here for the next stage. Streamer mode in Discord, is that what it is? And they shorten names, are they? Yeah, don't know. Don't understand computers, don't understand them. Right, so let's minimize this and get back to our wolf, which is actually a fox. Yay. You could make a two-tailed fox. There was a... Oh, it's called Tails, wasn't it? What was that Tails from? Tails in... Is it Sonic the Hedgehog, isn't it? Sonic the Hedgehog has tails, it has two tails. Yay, look, getting lots of thumbs up. Will you be critiquing submissions between streams? Probably won't get time for that. I'm barely getting time to put this in, but it's... I just kind of wanted to do some live streaming again, and... well, yeah, we'll see how we get on. I'm just going to line the shape up. So, there's a tiny bit of a hunch in that part of the dog, if you look at their anatomy, where their sort of shoulders go up a little bit. I'm probably overstating it a little bit there. And this probably can come around a little bit there. And this bit, I'm not liking this bit at the moment. I feel actually like this is a bit too high and I need some extra topology in here. There, I do it. This is where it gets a bit complicated. Will we be finishing today? We might manage it. I don't know. I'm going to put some more topology in, so I'm going to use the knife tool. So what I'm going to do, K for the knife tool, and I'm going to come around from here. So I'll explain the knife tool a bit more. So K enables the knife tool, and you get the knife icon, and then you get, it snaps to edges, and you want to really start at an edge or a vert. It's preferable vertices actually, but edges are fine like this because it's in the middle and it creates a loop because it's mirrored. Okay, so from the middle there, I can then left click and that sets a point, and that's going to be a new vertex. And then it snaps to the next edge, and I'll left click there, left click there. And I'm going to go into the middle of this face and out to here. Okay, that looks weird at the moment, but it will make sense in a minute because I'm going to right click to start a new cut across here. So right click, you can start a new cut. You're not sort of joined in. So I'm going to start from here and go across round to here. Okay. And then up to there, and then right click down here, and this is a little bit more advanced, but and press enter when you finish the knife. So from the base here up round here and out to there, you've got this bit going out there, around there and down here. Okay, bit confusing that, but there's a reason for it. It gives me a bit more topology around the leg, so that'll be good for animation later, and I can start doing this sort of thing. So G to bring that down a little bit and in, but I've got the sort of support up here so I can sort of fill the shape out of it. The reason I've done it in such a weird way is so that I can keep the quads, because quads are helpful as we keep going on about, and I can still do loop cuts. Ooh, if I could press the right buttons, so Control R to do these loop cuts all through these quads. Now, if you're going to miss any bits out, that's probably the bit you can miss out. Okay, I'm sort of improving the topology, and it will help it eventually. It might not, to be honest. It's looking a little bit weird now. I'm just going to move this in. GG to edge slide that one across, and this one GG to edge slide to bring it in. But I just felt like I needed more topology around there, and I think that is better. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to confuse people doing that. So don't panic if you didn't get it. It's not that important. What is more important though is this leg bit here, from here down to here. So remember, I can select one vertex and go down to the bottom, select that one. Make sure you have got that extra loop cut going down the middle of the front leg for this to work, because I'm going to press GG to edge slide it across slightly like that. And then this one here, down to here, GG to edge slide it across slightly there. And can you see we've got a rounder leg at the back there, and I can do the same at the front. So from there up to there, GG to edge slide, just bring it across slightly, not too far. This one from here to here, GG to edge slide. Now actually I don't really want to do that with the front, do I? So I'll scale that out in the x-axis there. Okay, so I've rounded out the leg slightly. Hopefully you can all see that. I feel like it goes in a little bit too much there though. Just going to tidy that up a bit. Oh, I went out too far. About there. Okay. It's getting there, isn't it? Getting there. Visual Effects Blender tutorial. When? Cool. Don't know about that. I don't do a lot of visual effects as such. Did I call it a dog just then? Thank you, Avocado Fire or Laurie. Yes. My courses are amazing, and you can get them at a special discount. Only $25 for 3 courses. My course bundle in the description. Go and get that. Support me. Wonderful stuff. You end the knife tool by just pressing enter, but make sure you end it on a vertex. And my loop cut went, I'll just show you those loops, from there to there, and then out, and then across here, and then out to that one, and down here. Okay? I'm really concerned that's going to mess people up, and people are going to say, what on earth is that, and what are you doing? Tell me if you're really confused by that. Did I I suppose if the stream and it's like now I've only got 2 people watching, that would be like, oh, forget this, it's too complicated now. And to be honest, I think I'll probably change it again later on, and that will really annoy people. Yeah, the shortcuts are really tough to remember. Just remember, does the page say 45? No, it's $25. $25. Can you believe it? Does it say 45? No. It's. Make sure you follow the link in my little description, and that should say, unless you're in some strange country that has loads of tax, that might happen. Anyway, yeah, if you've got different topology to me, don't panic, because it will probably still work, and we end up adapting it a lot later. So we're pretty much there with the body, the face. Now it gets tough at this point. If you thought it was tough already, it gets tougher now. And I'm thinking, how are we going to do this? What's the best way to do this? Because what you need to do is you need to add some topology to the face, but you don't want it going all. So if I add a loop cut here, for example, it's going all the way down the leg, across the back. So we don't really want to do that. So this is where we start redirecting. Yes, you can find them on Udemy. Interrupted with the questions. This is where you want to start redirecting your topology, and that becomes important to understand those sort of things. So I'm going to do a little bit more sort of cutting up at the front. Now you can use the knife tool and you can end up with n-gons. It doesn't matter too much. So if you get this wrong, I'm just looking at the chat, sorry, and it might be $30 for some people if you're in a country that's extra tax, but it should be $25 is the price, but your country might add some tax. I do apologize about that one. But even $30, 3 courses, and it's like, I don't know how many hours there, and it's all the knowledge that is in here coming out, and it's imparting into you. I'm doing the big sell now. I'll stop doing that. Is Substance Painter easy to learn? Not too difficult. It's probably slightly easier than Blender. Anyway, back to this. So I'm going to cut up the face a little bit, and I'm going to try and keep it to quads as much as possible, just because it's easier to manage. If you can't keep it to quads, or you think, oh, I'm just going to cut it up and forget about quads, that's fine too. Try and do as fewer cuts as possible, though, which is easier said than done, and you'll see why in a second. So what I need a little bit more topology around the mouth. So I'm going to come in here with the knife tool, K for knife tool, from this one here up to this middle point here. And I always, when I want to redirect it up to the top here, I always go out to this edge one here, right click, and then continue along here into the middle here. Enter. Now I've got some more topology to play with. I can start bringing this one in, GG, to edge slide that back in. And that should round out the face a bit more, GG, to edge slide that. It's a little bit messy at this point. Don't panic, because you can just tidy it up a little bit later on as you see how things work. But we're sort of getting more of a foxy shape now, which is good. I feel like the muzzle is really wide though. Is it really wide? Let's go to front view, into wireframe, Alt-Z. Oh no, it's right, but my face isn't wide enough. That's what the problem is. So we can get these, that face there, into front view, G to grab, and I'll scale it right down. Something like that anyway. I'm just having a look at my reference images as well at this point. I think that'd be worth doing. Yeah, it sort of works, doesn't it? Sort of works. This bit might want to come forward a little bit. So we've got to sort of, something a bit like that. And these might want to come out slightly. And I've made an adder. Yeah, student license for Substance Painter and stuff, yep. Yeah, it costs a fair bit, Substance Painter, doesn't it? Do you know, offering your services, so Hyperstar, so whilst people are catching up with cutting into the face, I'll talk to people a little bit about this other stuff. I'm just going to drop this down and just make sure, that seemed to go in a little bit, so just going to smooth the front out a little bit. So these ones here, from here to here, I'm just going to GG to edge slide those, so there's a bit more of a curve to the front, so you've got that around there. This one here as well, just a little bit more curve to the front, and this one as well. So just doing the GG command to round them out. And in fact, we want a bit more of a rounded muzzle, so I'll muzzle? Muzzle, say that right. You say something too often and it sort of loses its impact, doesn't it? There we go, something like that. And then these ones here, so I'll just get this right first. From there to there, GG, bring that back a little bit. Okay, we'll sort these bits out in a second. So I'll just put that up on screen so you can sort of see the shape I'm going for, and I'll answer a few questions. So I've started working, so this is Hyperstar, started working on Fiverr, had a couple of clients, but I'm offering my services very cheap. I don't actually understand to give right prices, not making the client leaves anyway. So yeah, losing clients because you're charging too much, but it's the wrong sort of clients, if I'm honest. Going to Fiverr and doing stuff, I don't think that has a good future. I think those sort of jobs will be taken by AI later, because the clients are quite bad. They're the sort of people that would just go to AI and put up with sort of shoddy work, because their product isn't as important if they're going to Fiverr to find people. Not suggest that sounded rude, and I didn't mean it to sound rude. I'm just sort of thinking, and I didn't mean to disrespect the people on Fiverr, but I worry about the people on Fiverr that those careers will get eaten up by AI the first. So I'm just being concerned for people. And so as soon as we can start making 3D models, the Fiverr community will suddenly lose out. The good artists that can make models still better than AI, and I think they'll be around for much longer, and their artistic skills will be important, or they'll be using AI themselves, but still in demand because of their artistic skills. They'll last a lot longer than those that go to Fiverr. So it's a good place to start off, just to get experience if you want to do low-cost work, but you can't really rely on it for a career path and a freelance career. Hopefully that answers your questions. I'll get back to I'll answer more of those sort of questions later on. Build modular environments for Unity. Then you need my environment course where we make modular environments for a game engine. So you can have a look at that. Right, a bit more tidying up needed in the face, isn't there? So we've got what looks to be fairly okay topology. I feel like we need some more around here. I'm going to do 2 loop cuts here. The wheel of your mouse, when you press, I'll do that again, I rushed a little bit there, okay? So Control R, and then wheel of your mouse will create 2. And I think we could do with a couple there to sort of help us along. Because then I can get these and GG to edge slide and have a little bit more topology going out towards the side there. Just going to see where we are with this one here. And I feel like we need a little bit of extra along here as well. So I'm creating a lot more extra loops. This one here, I'm just going to bring those in a bit. And I'm going to do another one there. And it seems crazy, there's just topology everywhere, but you tend to have a lot more for the face of a character than the rest of it. I feel like there's a lot of stretching here, and there is a way to sort that out. We actually bring these in and extrude them out. Do I want to do that though? I probably do. So I'm going to bring these in, just these. G then X. This is where it starts getting a bit more complicated, and I hope I'm not losing people at this point. But I'm going to bring all these in like this. So we've got just the dogs, the fox's face. and then I'm going to select these ones here and extrude them outwards. That's the way I'm going to do it. So back to front view. So I'll slow down a little bit. So I've got like 6 faces. It doesn't matter if you've got a different number, but just this general area I'm going to extrude out. It will create more topology that I can sort of do loop cuts around here. Then it will make it less stretched. You want to try and avoid stretched faces where you can. Okay, so we're kind of getting onto much more the intermediate modeling, maybe even towards the more advanced level at the moment, where you're just naturally trying to find the shapes and make them work. You'll be using the knife tool a lot for this, and extrusion tools and things. Knife tool is your friend in this case. Don't panic too much about topology at this point. Just try and create the shape the best you can. Remember, you can dissolve edges as well if you get it wrong with selecting an edge and pressing Control X. That was me pressing Control X. Okay. Right, so back to front view. E to extrude. Scale it all down. And I'm going to move these. It's looking really weird now, but it's going to make sense when I move these ones. Oh, try that again. Down a little bit. But can you see how I've got that extra topology to play with? Now I can start bringing these in. I might have too much now. There is a lot around this area. So I might have gone too many. But now what I can do is another loop cut round there, you see? And that's quite helpful. Now we can do something quite interesting because it's usually sort of fluffy at the end there. Well, let's just see what we've got so far. Have we got the sort of shape that I want? Go to, oh, I need to bring this up way up. About there. It's Alt Z. And these ones down. And these ones down. I think we're slowly getting there. I'm worried that I've gone a bit fast for people. I'll tell you what, I'm going to just go Alt Z so you can see what sort of shape I've got. And then I'll go back and have a look at the, what do you call it, Discord in a sec. I'm just sort of tidying these up, so I'm just getting the general shape with the topology I've got. And I might delete some of these edges later as well and think I don't need them. We'll see. I'm just also, last thing I'm going to do, just GG to edge slide that across. And these ones from here to here need to go in a little bit as well. There we go. It's looking a little bit more Fox-like. I keep doing minor edits, and I'm sorry if I'm losing people here. But this is what it ends up being. You'd end up just sort of going around doing these minor edits like this. So it's that top bit that needs to go at the top there. And sort the head out there. Okay, so I've got this sort of general shape. It looks a bit like an anteater at the moment. I'm going to have to go to side view and just pull that one down. I think these can be the sort of jaw line along there. And I can't help but keep editing this shape until I find the sweet spot, as it were, where it starts to work. We're slowly getting there. I feel like we are sort of getting there. These need to come back a lot, but I'll do that in a second. Just try and catch up with me with the face on sort of about there. Okay. Save your work. That's a really good point, you know. A file, save as. Where is my Blender? Fox. 1. Now don't talk about naming conventions or anything like that with me. You see, there's artists and there's technical people. I am an artist and we call things 1, 2, 3 and the folders all have names, so that's fine. I'm probably going to get some stick about that on the chat, I'm sure. What's the best way to learn how to get the shape right? It is just practice and looking at reference. I'm looking at my reference images all the time. So yes, it's practice, and don't be afraid to mess your topology up and mess your shape up too much anyway. And if you make loads of mistakes, then delete a load and add it in again, and you get some good experience from doing that. Let's go to the Discord and see how people are getting on. It's not too bad, actually. That's pretty good. You're doing well, doing well. This is pretty good, actually. I was concerned that I would lose people. I've probably lost a few as they're desperately trying to figure out how to make the face of a fox. The Get Good at Blender playlist. Good. I'm glad it's given you lots of motivation there. Oh, thank you very much. Bashoy, is that how you pronounce it? Much appreciated. Thank you very much. The Get Good at Blender series, that will help you with topology and sort of sorting out these different things about the face. That's pretty good. Well done, Jazzy. Is that Jazzy who I'm thinking of? That's joined. That's really cool. This face is weird. It is weird, and we'll probably sort that out in a bit, and I'll just cut it up and dissolve some edges and not worry about it. That's the best way to deal with these things. The light that keeps us going. Thank you, Shredder. It's tricky to say Shredder because usually Shredder is, I'm thinking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that's all I can think with Shredder. And you're saying such positive things, but all the time I'm thinking, but that's Shredder, the evil villain from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yep. Okay. I'm glad people are with me with the naming conventions that I'm using. That's good. Yeah, the disco, you're doing really well, guys. Doing good. I think I'll keep going with Get Good at Blender series. I might do a restart of it because I feel like it jumped around the place. So the chess piece I did recently, and lots of different chess pieces for Get Good at Blender. I think that worked nicely within there. But I feel like it needs reordering in some way. Or maybe I'll do a restart just for those people that got lost along the way. Yep, collapse faces and edges. Yep, that's another way of doing it. If you do, thank you for the question about my courses, Justin, which allows me to do a quick plug again. If you do purchase one of my courses, you have it for life. So, so you're Jasmine, you're Jazzy. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was another Jazzy that I know, but Jasmine, you're doing well. You do have it for life, yes. So any updates to that course, you'll automatically get those updates. And generally, occasionally we'll do a complete remaster if something majorly different has happened, and you get that update as well. So you get all these updates as well. There's a fantastic deal, only $30. No, well, what was it? $25. Can't even remember how much it is. It is $25, but sometimes your country does tax and things. So link in the description. Support me by buying my courses. Anyway. No, Bishoy, I didn't miss your super sticker. Thank you very much for the donation. Much appreciated. But thank you for pointing it out, Laurie. Oh, you just started teaching Blender at a few high schools. Cool stuff. And you're showing my tutorials. Well, say hi to your students from me. Good stuff. It's very enjoyable. I'm out of teaching now. I'm not a teacher anymore. Although I am here teaching, but I left high school teaching. It was tough. It's a very tough thing to do, but it's rewarding as well. It's mainly tough. Not the teaching part isn't tough. It's the red tape behind the teaching that's the worst bit. It looks awesome stuff. Right, now if you've messed up like that, whatever, I can't pronounce your name, but that's, you've got the turn clipping back off and select that edge loop, and then bring it back out again. So GX to bring it back out. But you probably pushed it all the way in. It's snapped and stuck together with the other one, the other side, and now you can't move it. So turn clipping off and try and grab it back. Hopefully that will work. But this is where Blender gets really confusing, and that's why it's important to save. You might even need to go back to a save point, and don't get frustrated by it. It happens to everybody, this sort of thing. Don't panic, but yes, you might end up losing your work or have to come back to this model when you've got a bit more experience and stuff. Frustrating though, it is. Hey, cool. Thanks, Justin. Introduction 3D. Okay, so look at these, yay, looking cool, looking good. Okay, so I'm gonna move a little bit quicker now because are we 2 hours in? We are 2 hours in, and people are probably getting tired. So how many people are watching still? Oh, you're still there. There's still 200 people. I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed. But I'm going to go a bit faster and try and sort the shape out a little bit. I'm going to get my reference images, see what we can do with the shape. It's got no ears at the moment. That's probably why it's looking so weird. I'm thinking this looks really odd. And let's try and get some ears. So looking where they come out from this angle here. So let's just select that one face there. And then from front view, we want this face here. Okay, so side view, I lined it up with side view and front view, and this is the face I'm going to use. But I'm going to scale it right up to about this sort of level. I'm not sure actually. I'm going to undo that now. I'm going to think about that because I think I need two faces. I might grab this edge loop here and slide it in. GG to slide it in a little bit. Okay. And I want two faces, I think. And I think I need two faces. That's not going to work actually. What am I talking about? That face there. I definitely need two faces. Actually, this one here. And so why do I need two faces for the ear? Tell me, why am I choosing two faces and not just one? Okay, have a think about that. Have a think about that. Answers on a postcard. Yeah, you could have watched 0.5% of One Piece instead of the stream. Yeah, so bad. Hey, always got time for my streams, Trekkie. Love it. So I took all the courses you made with Game Dev TV, but I'm not sure where to go next. Any recommendation? Any recommendations? I would then. It's tricky, really. It depends where you want to go now. If you've got, let's say, you want to go into character modeling, then maybe a few character modeling courses. You've probably got to a point, though, where you can actually just look at YouTube videos. If you've done all my courses, you can probably just look at YouTube videos about specific subjects and learn that way. If you want really advanced tutorials and courses, then perhaps something like CG Cookie. I don't know, are they more advanced? Possibly. You just need to specialize in an area and choose your avenue, choose your pathway, I would say, and then choose extra courses on those specific subjects. Hopefully that makes sense. Right, yeah, so 2 is better than 1 is the answer. Yep. Now, the reason I'm choosing, if I choose one rectangle, it's always going to be square all the way up. It's going to be a sort of like oblong rectangular box. If I choose 2 faces, then I can curve it round. I can have points on a circle and make it a curved ear. That's why I'm thinking of 2. The problem is if I have 2, one behind the other, I'm not going to get the curve that I want going around the back of the ear and an indentation in the front. You want the front free, really. So I'm going to have to do another loop cut. I don't really want to do another loop cut because it's getting a bit busy. So I'm probably going to do a loop cut and then delete and dissolve some of them later on. So in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be messy now, just to prove that it's okay to be messy. I'm going to press K for the knife tool and just do literally a cut across here and then just go into here. Okay. So it's always good to end on a vert like that. I haven't this side, so perhaps I ought to K for knife tool and come down to here, because triangles are better than n-gons. I won't go into the detail of that, but it just generally is. Okay, now I've got lots of faces that I can play with. I probably only need to use one of these faces here, actually. One of these new faces. I don't know if that made any sense. And I can extrude out from here. So I'll just extrude once and scale down a bit. And let's just start lining up a bit. Okay, so I need to move this across. Let's grab vertices instead. Move that all the way over to there. Move that down a little bit. And this one over to here. Keep these in the middle. That one's out a bit there. And about there. Okay, and then grab these faces here. E to extrude up and then just scale them right in. Okay, it's not looking too bad, but I've got these extra vertices here that I can G, then Y, move those backwards, and it's created a sort of ear shape. and we're looking a lot more foxy now, aren't we? Yay! How about that? Yeah, CG Cookie's not bad for sort of intermediate, I would say. Yeah. Can you inset it like the tail? Yeah, I could inset the two. It still wasn't going to be the right way round. I wanted the line in the middle rather than the line the other way. Hopefully that makes sense. It's worth it. You're learning for free. What's the learning for free? I'm not sure that's. Just grant have it, then grant some more. Yeah, that's the way to learn. Oh, a lot of people say Blender's not worth it and should do Maya or 3D Studio Max. Honestly, Blender's fine. Yeah, if you want a job in the games industry, you'll probably need to pick up Maya at some point. But it's I would do most of my stuff in Blender, and then just get Max or Maya for like a couple of months, just so you can jump your skills to that software. But learn everything in Blender for cost reasons. This is if you got the basic 3D skills in Blender, you can transfer it across to Maya and Max easily, because they are expensive. Although don't they have student version type things now? But then they expire after a certain time. I'm not sure. I don't know much about Max these days. I don't hear of that many people using it anymore. But that's maybe just because I'm not in that community. I'm not saying people aren't. Right, back to Discord. Let's see how people are getting on. Yay, we got some ears. So don't panic too much with the ears. Just cut things up. Make sure you've got enough vertices to curve them out. But that looks fox-like, doesn't it, Wendy? Nice work. And how do I see people's full name? Do I have to click on it or something? There we go. Just S. I don't know what's going on. S. But nice work. Looking good. Student and indie versions, yeah. So you probably have to get an indie version, but again, learn it in Blender, and then jump across later. That's what I reckon. If you have to, and you're finding those are the only place that you can get jobs. Yeah, £240 a month. That is just crazy, isn't it? When you've got Blender there, which I think is, unless you're doing animation, most people for animation will use Maya because it's got some better tools, although you can get add-ons these days for Blender. But generally speaking, Blender is outdoing Maya on other aspects, from what I've heard, but probably being unfair to Maya users. Anyway. Yeah, what is streamer mode on? I don't understand that. I don't know what's going on. Are tutorials for other software like 3D Studio Max useful? Yes, they are, for things like topology. There's a really good one who uses Max mainly for topology. He does some Blender stuff as well. Someone can probably tell me who he is, and you'll know who I'm talking about. Topology, Blender. Do you know that one's nice topology you got there? That's much better, Jazzy. Good. Was it Yasmin or something, wasn't it? That looks nicer topology than what I've got, doesn't it? Anyway, let's get back to Blender and start tidying this up. Right, so I'm just going to move this in a bit. And that looks messy there, doesn't it? So I feel like, and this looks messy here. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to select these. In edge mode, you have to be in edge mode for this. If I go to vertex mode and press Control X, you end up with this weird n-gon like this, which is just horrendous. So go to edge mode and press Control X and it will dissolve them. Yes, I'm ending up with triangles around the place, but we don't care because we're just going to go for it and see how we get on. Also, I'm feeling like this loop cut, do I really need it? I'm going to press Control X and see what happens. And notice that that wasn't doing a lot. I feel like I do need a bit down the top here though. So maybe, you know how these go in like that? I might just go across from here. Whoops. Let's undo that. Just across from here and in like this. And then I can select this one, Control X. I've got a big n-gon there, but it's probably okay. Probably okay. It's not too bad anyway. So I'm just tidying up things. I say tidying up, but just sort of making them simpler. This one in here looks a right old mess. Look at that. Looks horrendous. That's what non-planar means. So this plane here, rectangle, is non-planar, so it's sticking out, and Blender always renders quads actually as triangles. Everything is triangles in Blender. So there's a triangle there and a triangle there. And I can sort this out just by moving this out a bit, and then it's a bit more planar and closer, so we can, it just starts working a bit better. Okay, so we're sort of getting there a bit more. I don't really know whether I need these ones either, so if I just press Control X for now, that's okay. Sort of working, isn't it? And then this is a little bit weird. It sort of stretches down this way where it could just have a triangle there. So let's just try that. These two here, J to join. It's easier than using the knife tool. And then this one here, Control X. And you can see I've just sort of just about tidied this up, and it's looking relatively okay now. And we've got a okay-ish looking fox. Let's look at the forehead now. I'm looking at my reference images as well. I feel like it needs to come out here. This edge here needs to be out here more. And again, looking at my reference images, I feel like I do want to sort of have a cut going across here, so I can have I think maybe around here are the eyes. So I want a face here. So I'm going to use the knife tool and just come in and cut across there. Again, just making a huge big mess, but we can just tidy this up. Into vertex mode, select this vertex here, GG, my favorite, to edge slide. And what do you know, I can actually get rid of this edge as well. So Control X to get rid of that edge, and I've got a much easier place to work now for an eye. Okay, let's have a think. Looking at my reference images, they're quite cool. And where do I want the eye to go? Let's look at my actual reference. We want it about there. I'm just going to move a few verts so they're sort of closer to the inside there, and then these ones to the outside there, and just see what that looks like. So I'm just lining that up with where I want the eye. Let's just do that again. So we've got a space. I'll go a little bit outside the eye though, because then I can inset it to create a little bit more topology around there. I might want a bit more topology than just that though, mightn't I? Let's see, what can I do? I'm probably just going to use the knife tool again. And I know it's really messy doing it this way, but it's okay. What rendering engine doesn't render in triangles? All of them render in triangles as far as I know. I think. Maybe some NURBS rendering? I don't know. But I'm pretty sure all of them. It's all about the triangles. But quads are easy to model in. That's why we model in quads. But when it's rendered, game engines, everything, they use triangles. I feel like this is a bit of a mess. So I'm just going to GG to edge slide that across. And GG to edge slide that across as well. Oh, no, don't do that one. That was weird, that one. But I might be able to do it this way. Possibly. I'm going to go down there as well. I mean, you can just edge slide a little bit, see what happens, and that kind of looks alright. It's looking pretty cool. It's got a sort of bendy snout at the moment. That's really irritating me. Just going to do a bit of tidying up. Yeah, this bit here looks a bit odd, I think. So back into edit mode. Bring that in a little bit. It's sort of working. Need some sort of indentation in here, and I feel like there's not enough topology for my eye, and that's worrying me. So I'm having a think about it, moving things around, playing about a little bit until I can find something that I'm happy with. Polygons are just triangles indeed. Do you make your models game ready? Quite often, yeah. We can make this one game ready. It kind of is game ready in a sense. Nice with the fox, but there's also a way to work with symmetry that easier. We are symmetrizing across the middle, if that's what you mean. I'm just going to quickly do the rest of the ears. I'm going to grab these and extrude them. I'll insert them first and then just pull them backwards. So I and then G. You can also press extrude, and I'll just rotate that slightly. I'll go into X-ray mode so you can see what I'm doing there. Rotate that back and move that back. Rotate a little bit more like that. And scale them in a little bit more. And there we go. We've got some ears there. Look okay-ish. Not that happy with them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this down a little bit like that. I feel like they need to come out a bit actually. Yeah, probably need to just go a little bit closer to the edge like that to sort of thicken it up. It's really sharp just there. Hopefully you know what I mean by sharp. Not sure I'm happy with this actually. Do you know, I'm going to undo that step because I think it is actually better. Oh, I haven't got enough undos. If I, from here, extrude that backwards like that. It actually looks a little bit better because it's got this solid shape around here. And now I'm going to go back into edit mode. Control plus is grow your selection. And then I can select those ones as well and just G then Y to move those backwards like that. I think that's a bit better. These ones in here as well, I'm going to scale those in a little bit. That's a bit better. These though, I do need to bring down. Does that make sense? Hopefully I didn't go too quickly there. Hopefully that's alright. I'm getting lost. My face topology isn't right. Yes, I'm going a little bit faster because I'm worried about timing and the fact that I slightly need the loo now. So how much longer I'm going to last. So I'm going a little bit quick. Don't panic. The best thing is just to try things out at this stage. You might end up with a little bit of a fox that goes a little bit wrong. It's okay. Remember, you can select edges. So like these along here, I can press Control X to dissolve them. And you've got your knife tool as well. K for knife tool, so I can bring them back. I think there was something like that. So you can always recreate the topology. If it looks a bit messy, just dissolve some things, add it back if you need it. I'm going to work on the eye now, which is going to be a bit weird. I'm just going to come down from here, I think, because I really want an eye that's circular in some way. So I'm just going to come down and bring that and end it there. So I've got a cut there. So I've got a space for the eye, bring that across a bit. Let's just go to front view, X-ray mode, and try and line that up. Right, so we've got that. Oh, that's a bit weird though. I feel like these need to go back as well, don't they? Yeah, part 2 is always an option. I'm thinking I'd rather do it all in one stream. That's a kind of YouTube problem. I know that not many people will come back for a second part of something, will they? I don't know, I'm nervous of doing that because of the YouTube algorithm. And then it sort of becomes, I know it's sort of like, oh, but you shouldn't just care about getting an audience. But there's that feeling of, I don't know, it's successful if there's lots of people here, and I don't know. Okay, what are people thinking about a part 2 then? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. I'll go with the majority. Still looks like a dog. No, it's a very foxy fox. Needs to be a bit fluffier maybe around here to look more like a fox. How dare you suggest that this is any bit of a non-fox? I'm going to move these out a little bit. There you go. Even more foxy now. A lot of people saying part 2. Thumbs up if you come back. Yeah, I need to go into the blender settings and increase the undo. I don't know why I haven't done that. That's a stupidity. Yeah, I suppose we can add texturing and rigging into it. That's true. Part 2. Is there anybody that hates the idea of part 2? And then we know it's unanimous that we need a part 2. We've done pretty well, I think. We got to this point. I do want to put the eyes in, though. Is this process similar to how a AAA game studio would make a fox? It depends. It depends. If it's a low poly, then yes, they'll probably do it this way. Some might do it by sculpting and then retopologize. It depends on your own workflow. I think there's pluses and minuses to both. Sculpting is probably a little bit longer, but a little bit more precise. It's tricky. They've both got advantages and disadvantages, and it's more to do with the way you want to model than the actual technique itself. I'm just tidying up a little bit. Yeah, I need to increase that undo. Yeah, high poly to low poly, basically. How cost will you charge? I'm not sure what you mean, Ray Gamer. Do you mean how much would I charge for creating a model like this? Tricky to say, really. I suppose, me personally, if someone had said, "Oh, can you make me a low poly fox rigged and animated?" I'd probably charge something like 200 quid for it. Something around there, anyway. Oh yeah, so if you want to sort your undos out, edit preferences. Where is it? Systems, is it? Is this his system? Oh, it is. Yeah, undo steps. I should really put that at least to 50. There we go. That's where you can also do your, if you've got a graphics card and things, you can put the optics things in there and stuff as well. And there's all your add-ons and stuff as well. Yeah, I'll leave. This will be uploaded to my channel as well, and you'll be able to find it on my channel if you need to go back to this, try again, because lots of people are probably struggling a little bit. 17-hour YouTube video, flipping heck. That's very impressive. Was it a charity thing? Arendelle is the one who does all the node stuff really well. It's very cool stuff. I feel like my end here could get tidied up a fair bit, but we'll probably work on that next time. I'm up for doing a second one, actually. I'm quite enjoying myself. I'm not going to do anything really extra with the fox eyes. Well, I'm going to do them now, actually. So here, oops, face mode, these two, inset. I'm just going to do that for now. That looks really stupid, but it's going to look really great soon. I'll scale that down like that. And do I want rounded eyes? I mean, there's loads. I could experiment a lot here. There's quite a good reference image where it's got sort of triangular eyes like this, which look quite cool, and going upwards. It's sort of like a little bit sinister. It depends whether you want to go cute or sinister. And we're just sort of getting a nice shape now. Not too bad, but a little bit whack. I think we need a bit of an eyebrow there. And this one wants to come forward a little bit. Oh, I've got something wrong there. Now, if you ever get this, where they're sort of overlapping a little bit, and it's tough to see what's going on, there's an option up here, vertex, smooth vertices. I would put this in my quick favorites, it's so useful. So right click on it, add to quick favorites. Just do that. Do it now, smooth vertices. So vertex, smooth vertices, and right click, add to quick favorites. Then I can press Q whilst in edit mode and go smooth vertices. And just do it again, smooth vertices. And it just smooths them out. It's so nice and easy. Gonna make that a little bit wider, so we can see what's going on, and bring this one down, bring that one up. It's not looking too bad, but the nose is just horrendous. I feel like those are too wide. Sort of working, isn't it? Let's go back to my actual drawing. Yeah, I was wondering that. That looked to be in the wrong place completely. I'm making a little bit of a point to the ears, just for fun. And just tidying up a little bit around here. This part of the process is quite fun, isn't it? You just sort of like really, I don't know. I'll just do it for ages. Okay, let's go back to solid mode. See what we've got. It's getting there, getting there. I feel like this part is just wrong at the moment, and there needs to be more of a neck, perhaps. G then Z, and here. Just going to move these in a little bit. Something like this at the moment. I'm just experimenting a bit with the shape. I prefer that. It still needs work though. Still needs a bit of work. I might sort of make this a bit more fluffy around there in a bit. Yeah, that's a good point. There's if you need some practice, let's say you're struggling with this fox, go away and try my low poly animals tutorial, where it's a little bit easier. It's a giraffe, so it's an easier shape. It's got an easier head. And my bunny tutorial as well. It's an Easter bunny one. You should be able to just type in bunny or animal on my channel, and you'll be able to find them. Should really put the links in the description tonight. Yeah, it's confusing dot and on in front view and X-ray mode, wireframe, sorry, and trying to work it out from there. It takes a bit of experience. That it's something it's worth practicing though. You do get it eventually. We're sort of getting there. Anyway. It's looking pretty cool. I feel like the mouth. Actually, that's where I'm going wrong, isn't it? I keep thinking he looks like he's got sort of this anteater nose, and he has, because it's all wrong. Bring that down. Give him a bit more of a solid shape there. I think that's going to look a lot better now. That is looking better. It's not a lot better. I feel like I need a loop cut around here. So if I press Control R now, it doesn't go through that triangle there, but I can just put it in and just pull it out a little bit like this. And I think we need to go to more of a point at the end there. Oh, we're getting there. Sorry, I'm going. I feel like I'm going a bit quick now. Actually, I've probably lost a few of you. We'll sort out the topology later on, but we are sort of getting there. Anyway, try and work on the eyes. Let's go back to this. Hey, that's pretty cool, isn't it? That's pretty cool. The legs. Oh, I was trying to middle click on it to move around it. Does that happen to anybody else? Do they do that? That's really good. I think just a bit of smoothing around out at the top here. The front legs are actually quite thin. They're not that bulky at the front, so you can bring all this in a fair bit. The back leg, though, you can keep that bulk. But that's pretty cool, isn't it? Nice work. Excellent stuff. This one's good as well, Backy. Yours is simpler than mine, and it works really nicely. Awesome stuff. This is great. We're doing really well. I think that's a bit nicer topology as well. Whatever. If I could sort out finding a name, that'd be brilliant. That's good as well. A little bit of stretching down the top here, but it doesn't matter. Just might have to cut in a bit for the eyes. So use the knife tool. Look at that llama. That's the best one. I'm just loving it. Loving it. Yes, look at that. That's great. I'm really happy to see so many people doing so well with this. It's a fantastic job. Now this is interesting. This is, oh sorry, I couldn't, nervous energy. I would just do a cut across there to make life easier for you, because this stretch down there is going to be awkward. And a cut across there with a triangle, it's not going to matter too much. In fact, yeah, just a cut across there will make your life a bit easier. So you can literally select those two vertices and press J to join, and you'll have that cut. And then you could probably dissolve these two edges that are there. Okay, look at these foxes. This is looking great. It's looking nice, isn't it? It's nice, simple. You haven't got the extra cut down here, which I have, but you have on that one, but not on this one. But it's looking nice, so I might remove mine later on as I see fit. But this is great stuff. Look how well everybody's doing. Nice work. Okay, let's have a quick look at chat. I'll answer a few questions, but for now, yeah, and I'll leave this up. I'll just put mine in the background. If I can do that. Let's try and get mine in the background there so people can see roughly where we're at. This snout is really irritating. I'm going to get rid of these. Control X. Oh no. Got to be in edge mode for that, otherwise you end up with those weird angons. That's a bit better. There's something about his snout that I'm going to have to sort out. Really annoying me. But we'll get there. I think maybe it's supposed to go wider here. I'm going to do that now. It's really getting on my nerves. I have to do a cut across here. The reason I'm doing that is because if I go G and bring that across, then we've got this weird overlapping geometry. So I'm going to go from here to here, J to join, and move this across, GG. I could probably just edge slide that into there, and then GG to edge slide that across. Aha! It's getting a bit better now. Move that out a little bit. I think that's better. I'm also going to go across here. J to join, and then GG to edge slide that one. Wait, GG. Edge slide that one into there, and then I can bring these up, I think. I think that's looking a bit better anyway. A bit better. Something like that. Yeah, modelling with tutorials, it takes a lot of trial and error. It's nice to have someone there to answer a few questions if you have any. And lots of people are asking extra questions. It does make these things very long, so tutorials are nice and quick, but this is probably more advantageous to learn from, I would say, in many ways. Yeah, we're going to text you later on. Could you hide? You could hide the back verts. Oh, yeah, that's a good point. If you are struggling with stuff, you can, let's go to X-ray mode. I can select probably from here, press H to hide, and that's much easier. Sorry, I should have done that much earlier. Thanks very much. Wendy, well done. Good stuff. Yeah, I'll just bring that back though. Alt H. Let's bring this over a little bit. Can I bring that? Oh, I can't. Can I get rid of this? Nope. Can I get rid of that? Nope. Actually, I'll just bring it over like that. That's a bit... Why didn't I just do that anyway? Bring that out a bit. There we go. We don't need that. So yeah. That's excellent, Jen's lay. It did that very quickly. Amazing stuff. It's a bit high poly, the fur add-on. So hopefully you've enjoyed the stream. If you want to support me, then best way is to buy my courses or just like and subscribe to my channel. That's helpful as well. I'm sure most of you have already. Stay tuned for part 2. I'm not sure when that will be. I don't think it'll be next week, but maybe, depending on how I'm feeling. But if not, the week after, 2 weeks today, at the same time is probably the easiest for me. Hopefully that's good for you. I'll answer a few questions while I'm here. So if you've got any questions, remember the sort of big question marks on next question. If you edge slide vertices with GG over each other, do they automatically get merged? That's where you need, I'll just bring this back over, the auto merge vertices button to be selected. Okay, and then otherwise if you don't do that, you'll end up with doubles everywhere. Yay, part 2. Indeed. Oh, you can get rid of the names, can you? Oh, I'll do that. Thank you very much. Top Channel 101. Tutorial for accent. If you don't know, Top Channel 101 does some fantastic tutorials, sort of epic scenes, I would say, just quite often fairly advanced stuff as well. I'm always really impressed. I haven't seen any recently, but I know you have been doing. I've seen them pop up on my stream, but haven't watched any recently. But yeah, I like your work, and so well worth taking a look at. Top Channel 101. 1-on-1, isn't it? 1-on-1. Sorry, I always want to say 101 because yeah, don't worry. It's a series we have here, Room 101. Learned a lot. It helped build confidence to cut up and dissolve edges. Yeah, that is exactly it. You want to just experiment by being able to cut up stuff, delete vertices, delete edges, add them back in with joining and the knife tool, and then you'll just slowly get there. It will slowly get there. Who would you advise for programming stuff? Well, Game Dev TV. They've got some wonderful Unity and other tutorials. I would definitely go there. They're sort of they're my colleagues, I suppose. I work with Game Dev TV. Yeah, I'm kind of a part of their team, and they're fantastic. And their courses are cheap, but high quality. That's why I work with them, because that's what I want. I want accessible tutorials for people. So obviously with YouTube, you have to work quite quickly, don't you? And it's all about the algorithm, and you have to do exciting stuff all the time. And the boring stuff that you really need to learn, that's where you have to go to courses for, because those videos never work on YouTube. So yeah, unfortunately, if you want really quality teaching, you do really have to pay for a course quite a lot of the time. Yes, Ash, a few courses from Game Dev TV. They're good, aren't they? Quick favorites as well. That's a good one. Yep. The smooth vertices. I use that a lot, and it's very helpful. I'll probably use it again later on as well. Stephen Ulabari, yes, has good Unreal Engine stuff on Udemy. Yep, and he's a Game Dev TV person. Yep. Cool stuff. Yeah, so if you want to, make sure you're caught up for next time. This is where we'll leave it for now. I'll just put Alt-S there, Alt-Z, sorry. Move that back across. One last quick look. Apparently I can, this is fine as it is. Quick look at any more people to show theirs. That's better. I still think it's a little bit wide there, the leg at the top there, Milo. But it's looking really cool. That's a nice one from C. Awesome work. Okay, so last shout out, if you want a discount on the courses, that's in the link below. Then, yep, that'll be supporting me. Otherwise, yep, better save my work, and make sure you all save your work. It's saved as 1. It's really useful. You will need to save your work as 1 or final or halfway in tutorial land. The low poly dino, yep. So the introduction to Blender course has a dinosaur that we make. It's very similar to this, and it's, I suppose the dinosaur's a little bit easier to make than this. We went for something fairly hard here. I'd forgotten I'd had that in that section. That's a nice one from Nervous Energy. Nice job. And yes, you did exactly what I said, which was to, I've messed it up. What the? I've lost my top bar. There we go. You did exactly what I said. Perfect stuff. If only all my students were as attentive as you. I'd say things in the classroom and it wouldn't always get followed through on. Nice work. So this is awesome stuff, people. Another one from Maraka. Great work. And Dr. Val. You got sort of smooth shading on there. That's a nice one as well from Kate. Excellent stuff. We're looking good. Okay, so I will hopefully see you all in the next stream. And hopefully you've enjoyed it. And I don't think there's anything else I need to say. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time. Now I've got to find where my live stream software is to stop it. Thanks all. Getting lots of thanks, I think. Anyway, see you next time. Hopefully next Friday, if not the Friday afterwards at the same time.